Hello and welcome to Lansdowne Roar Live. David Dunn here, joined by Martin Prendergast and Connor McAvoy. And you're most welcome. We're coming at you live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter accounts. The rules are always the same. This is your podcast. You say what you want. You can make a comment. You can talk to us about anything you want to talk to us about, or you can talk to us about what we're talking about. You can ask a question or don't ask a question, or see them coming in there anyway. But this is your podcast. This is Lansdowne Roar, and that is what we're all about. We're for the fans, by the fans, for the fans, or something to that degree. Anyway, before we get started, do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give us a cheeky subscribe here on the YouTube channel, and if you don't mind, you can like the video as well. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, Connor is at Rep Tracker on Twitter. You want to find out what's going on with the latest boys and girls in green, he is the man to follow. So give him a cheeky follow over there. Lads, it's good to be back. Had a nice week off. Away from you two pair of feckers. How are we, Martin? All three of us on live. We haven't had this for a while, have we? We've been sort of separated. Good to have you back, lads, I suppose.
Good to have you, Dave, back. Back, Dave, even. That was great to have you back, Dave. It's nice of you to join us. And, really, really good show. We enjoyed it last week. And, I think I've had a very good weekend, to be honest. Really good.
Well, yeah, Connor, you want to add to this merriment, to this clear excitement that we're feeling from the three?
You were here last weekend anyway, so we just were so active on the streams. We did 2 days in a row. That second stream was just the greatest stream of all time, and me and Prendy took it to another level.
Yeah,
deadline.
Yeah,
top class. You were meant to separate, as you were meant to say. I'm separating myself for the whole week. I've never had more contact from you in my life, so I don't know what's going on with you, David. I'm great. It's been a good day for Irish football. After it's interesting, we were speaking yesterday. All was saying that what are we going to talk about tomorrow? It seems to be a very quiet week, and then a couple of very, very good moments for Irish football happened over the past 48 hours, which is great to see.
Yeah, no, it absolutely flew. Today, a hell of a day of sport, actually. All around. Connor, you must be glad I'm back. At least this on this episode, you get a word in edgeways. Yeah, it's Martin's like, no.
Fantastic to see 2,000 viewers with us last week and enjoying the presentation.
Is that all he had, was it?
Skills.
Was that all he had?
On a bank holiday Monday?
2,300 didn't
on a bank holiday Monday. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us in the bank holiday Monday, and that was fantastic. From Ireland to really good, and we had a good crack on it, chatting about all of this different things, the transfer window and things like that. It was good, all the big moves, and thank everyone for getting involved and joining us.
Yeah, it's all right, Martin. You're not hosting this week.
No, you didn't even ask me out why I'm so happy. Anyway, why I'm so happy is I have had a very good weekend. I obviously coach Enfield Town under 13, so I'm going to give them a shout out because we do sponsor that team, my team, Dave, as you know, and we have for quite a while now. And yeah, fantastic. We had a good result yesterday, 2-0 down in our JPL game, which is Junior Premier League over here, quite a competitive level. And we're 2-0 down. We've had a real struggle this season, to be honest, really, really different going up to that level. But we were 2-0 down. We came back and won 3-2, and it was absolutely brilliant. And then we won a quarterfinal of the Cup today as well. So 2 games in 24 hours for 13-year-olds is quite demanding. 150 minutes of football they've probably played, so they've done really, really well. So I'm very proud of them. I'm a very proud coach, and Enfield Town are in a relegation battle at the moment as well. And they got a good result as well yesterday to Aveley. So I've had a good football weekend, and it was topped probably this afternoon by watching Michael Obafemi come off the bench and qualify for the 5th round of the FA Cup. Really enjoyed that as well.
Yeah. I mean, well done. They beat Liverpool's B team. No, fair enough. Gone for the real trophy. So, the magic of the cup, yeah. So magical. Did Man United pull out of it in the year 2000? Was that magical, wasn't it? Completely. Before you were born, Connor.
Myth. Wouldn't let us put our B team in it that year.
Anyway, no, it is good to be. No, to be fair, all joking aside, if you want to check out those episodes, they are on the YouTube channel. I'm getting some great numbers there as well. That was our transfer window episode. Every Irish transfer, the lads went through them all. No other podcast does it. We are Irish football's most interactive podcast. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to the page, and please do subscribe to the YouTube channel.
I have a question for you, lads.
Go on.
What would you rather be doing tonight? Watching the Super Bowl or watching Lansdowne Road? That's the question.
I mean, yeah, there's no winner there. I mean, last time I watched the Super Bowl, my brother asked me, "How does this work?" I said, "I don't know. They kick for they play for 2 seconds, and then you two come on at halftime." That's all I remember of the Super Bowl back in 2002.
It is incredible. I've been to the NFL, right? I'm not in America, but I've seen it at Wembley Stadium, and it's a brilliant event and things like that. Like it is, I would say to people, go. And they just announced a game, haven't they? In Croke Park,
Croker, yeah,
which is coming out, and that's going to be high demand, of course. But I just think it's mad that you have players in that sport who do not touch the ball. I just think I can't get that around my head at all.
Sorry
Some
to
very smart people.
Sorry to our American fans, and we do have plenty of them watching, but it's shite. I can't I can't stand it. I mean, I was watching rugby today, Ireland against Scotland.
Oh yeah, I think. When did you step off the bandwagon? Has it just pulled off and dropped you off? Is it
bandwagon? I've been watching. Listen here. I've been watching rugby, Ireland and the Six Nations for over 30 odd years. So don't even.
I've got WhatsApp messages from you about rugby, dismissing it. I have. I think you know as well. Your face has given it away here. You have definitely been a bit dismissive over the rugby in the past.
No, do you know what it is? I don't like. What I didn't like was the narrative that came around rugby all of a sudden becoming the people's sport. I didn't like that. It's like it's not a people's sport. Football's a people's sport. By the way, here's me watching rugby. That was a message to Martin.
All I have to say is until they get back and get rid of that stupid national anthem, we won't respect them like we respect the football.
What, Orazi?
You watch your manners. You watch yourself. You watch yourself.
Yeah,
just because national anthem was God Save the Queen.
Queen. God save what?
I can't believe you're not even picking up on my. You're not even picking up on my product placement here as I'm drinking out of my.
Oh yes, yeah. You got a Lansdowne. You got a Lansdowne Road mug.
I do.
Got a Roar mug.
I've got a Roar mug, which was sent to me, which was very kind.
From Rob.
Yeah, Rob sent me that. I'll put that there. That's a perfect position.
I've got mine here somewhere as well. Actually, you don't help on Connor, do you? No one likes you. We'll try and do something about that in March when you come over. Yeah, I actually was in Brighton all week. There's me in my jacuzzi, my Guinness Zero. Yes, I had a jacuzzi this week because I had a pair of scrotes 2 doors down smoking weed in the hotel, and I said, what's going on? And instead of doing something about them, they moved me up to a suite on the 4th floor, and it was shit. Have you guys ever been in the Queen's Hotel in the Spa? Don't know why I'm asking you, Connie. You've never been out of the country.
No.
Martin, have you've ever been in there? No, it's just absolute rubbish. But anyway, yeah, there was me in my jacuzzi having fun. Right, shall we get into this? All this merriment and all this fun. We'll get into the latest news here during the week. It's been a hell of a week. Before we do it, just want to remind you guys, hopefully I'm not repeating myself too much. You know who you are. You said that during the week. But you have your say, leave a comment, get involved. You can talk to us about whatever you want. Got a question on your mind? You got a question? We got the Oracle here. Connor, you want to talk to them about players coming through, eligibility, that kind of thing? Connor is your man. You want to talk about tickets and where you can get them from and dodgy boxes and all that sort of stuff? Martin is your guy, top right there. Cheap jerseys from China, the whole lot. He is your boy. And of course, you just want to be sound, you can chat to me as well. Or you can talk to us about whatever we're talking about here as well. So it's your podcast. We'll do it for the next hour and a half. Right, lads, we ready to get into the latest news? I've got a little graphic here. Here we go. And yeah, big hello to the 500 fans watching us. Only 10 minutes in, so we got 500 viewers watching us, guys. Thank you so much. Your support is amazing. As always, lads, what will we start off with? Connor, go on. What do you want to talk about first? We'll let you go.
I don't know. What would you have presented to us, Mr. Presenter? But we'll probably talk about we'll talk about what's hot on the topic, and it's the two lads making their debuts today, I think.
Yep. I mean, we're going to start with Orazi.
Yep. That's the best you pronounce it yet.
Yeah, no, he took about 10 goals. There he is there, IK Orazi. He came on. He came on in the 78. Did he come on? No, he came on 88 minute, wasn't
87 to 88 minute.
Yeah. Stad Ram were 3-0 down at the time when he came on there. John Patrick, we're going to call him John Patrick, did play. I was watching it on the League Unpass, lads, and here's the graphic he had for John Joe. Poor bastard. I mean, I'm not being bad, Connor. You watched it as well. I mean, the picture was a bit of foreshadowing there, wasn't it? He didn't make much of an impact whatsoever, did he?
No, it was like Rem, as we know. Rem aren't a great side. It's a lot of bypassing midfield. It's a lot
Bottom
of
6 now.
Yeah, they're probably in a relegation battle. It looks like I think they're 11 on points with teams that are in the relegation zone. So now they're a very poor side, being honest with you. He can't really make much of an impact in the game, whether it's he's not doing enough himself or he's just settling into a new club. He's relatively new to playing first team football that often, but in fairness, it's a top 5 league in Europe. He's going to be testing himself. Lyon are a good side. Like there's some, like Matic I know he's not anymore, but he used to be a world class holding midfielder. They have some other very, very talented lads. But it was a tough game for him today, now, to be honest. But I think it was more important that IK made his debut because, as you've seen, Dave, we had our prediction video for 5 lads to make their senior debut in 2025, and he was a bold shout for myself that I think that this lad is a potential superstar in the game of football. He is an extremely talented dribbler. He'd remind you of the way he carries the ball. If anyone's ever watched Rafael Leao, he's a brilliant balance, very technical with both feet, plays with his head up. It's not just take men on and try and get the ball in the box or shoot. He is very good, so he can take set pieces as well, if anyone remembers the under-17s Euros. So I think I'm very happy with how he's getting on now, and it's a huge moment that he made his debut today because he's only 17, and I think he's a potential star in the game, and I think it'll only get better from here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just unfortunate the club he's in. He's probably not going to get as many minutes. I was a bit surprised he came on. I switched it off when John Patrick came off and put on the Liverpool game and had the Ireland match on in the background. And when he said, "Oh, he's come on," I was like, "Oh, hello." And then I realized they were 1-0 down when I switched it off, and he went 3-0 down. That's a couple of times actually where they've actually taken John Patrick off, and they've conceded after him. The last 2 games anyway he's played in the league. I know he played in the cup game, which went to penalties. No, I mean, fair play. It's really nice to see like 2 Irish lads playing in League One. But Stad Ram are a dreadful side. They were tipped for Champions League qualification this season, and it's gone completely wrong for them. They're very bad. He was playing the right side of a 3-man midfield, wasn't he? They were playing 4-3-3, and he just kind of did. I feel bad for him. Like they're not really playing through him. They're not playing to his strength, so I really feel bad for him. But yeah, I mean, it was lovely to see Orazi, 17 years of age, or Razzie, sorry, 17 years of age, and he looked okay. Bit of pace around him, bit light, but he's only 17, isn't he? So hopefully big things from him. The other big debut, of course, today was a bit of a shock. I mean, it was a cup shock, and of course, I know Martin, you watched this game. I'm sure you were fucking doing more than watching it. Trent Kone-Doherty, Martin.
Yep.
Doherty, right? Say it with me, Doherty. He came on and made his debut. He came on the 75th, 78th minute, I believe. And of course, Plymouth were 1-0 up at the time. A penalty scored against Gallagher. I mean, it was against Liverpool's B team, so it doesn't really matter. What did you make of him, Martin, when he came on? I thought he did okay.
Yeah, I thought he looked bright. I mean, look, it was a very understrength Liverpool side. The arrogance from Anfield, thinking they were going to get the job done against Plymouth, probably didn't surprise me. A very arrogant club. Going to win the
semi-final in the League Cup the other day, and playing Everton on Tuesday.
It's very dismissive of
Everton on Tuesday
and
on Wednesday.
Just very dismissive of another football club, and despite one with a lot of troubles, as you seem to glorify him whenever you mentioned them in the past few weeks when Rooney was there. But well, there you go. They're in the next round of the FA Cup. So
because Rooney's no longer the manager. Anyway, we could be doing this all day. Go on.
Yeah, we could be. No, brilliant to see him getting his debut. Really promising player. We know that Connor really rates him very highly, and is a player we're going to expecting a lot of coming forward. So yeah, I'm glad that the profile of him's risen a little bit. Great to see Kelleher get an opportunity as well, of course, and as well Michael Obafemi coming off the bench. I was actually really interested to see how he got on because he wasn't massively impressive, was he? He didn't look after the ball enough, but it was just great to see him again, I suppose, because he's fallen off the radar with Irish football, I think. Anyway, and in a struggling Plymouth side, probably helps him a little bit now, perhaps if they go on a cup run or get more games and things like that. But it's been a tough one for him. But yeah, the main story obviously is Kone-Doherty getting the debut, and that's brilliant for him. It just shows he's trusted in that Liverpool squad.
Yeah. What did you make? I mean, Connor, you've been talking about him for a very long time. He was in the Champions League squad in the dead rubber game against PSV away from home. He never got on, but he got on this one here. I watched him when he came on. I thought he did okay. I thought he looked confident. He was asking for the ball. He whipped in a nice cross as well. I thought it was a lovely cross, actually, just knowing on the other end of it. But yeah, I think he did all right, didn't he?
Yeah, I was impressed, to be honest, because I didn't know, because I've always said I think he's very, very talented, but he's still very light. Even if you compare him to Ike Orazi, it's still night and day between physicality at the moment. But I thought he looked very bright when he came on. He was constantly getting the ball. He was the big thing for that age is he was looking to make things happen when he's come on. He wasn't hiding as such, trying to just get the ball and pass straight off. He tried to take men on a couple of times. He was putting the ball in the box. The most impressive thing I think saw from him was that shot he took. Even though the shot was a very poor shot, it was never going in, it was blocked. But for a lad that's 18 years old to come in on his debut and actually have the balls to take a shot when you're 1-0 down, and it's a thing of don't be taking risks, it's you need to get the ball in the box, and it shows that bit of confidence that he has, that he knows he wants to make an impact on his debut. Like it's brilliant to see. Like I wasn't expecting him to come on. As soon as I seen that first goal, I was thinking, oh shit, that's Liverpool 1-0 down. They'll only bring on the senior players. He's not going to get a chance here. And then fair enough, to Arne Slot, he brought him on. Like Rio and Gamala, that's on the bench for Liverpool. I know Liverpool fans think he's a potential world beater, and what Trent coming on before him was a good. So I'm absolutely delighted now that Trent came on, made an impact, shown that he can at least compete at senior level at the moment, because he still is probably not ready for first team football regularly yet, but I'm delighted with how he done today, and I think it's a huge stepping stone in his career. And the Ireland under-19s in March is going to look very scary with Orazi and Kone-Doherty on the wings.
Yeah, I liked him. He looked useful. He only came on a bit, and they were playing a Plymouth team that were hanging on for dear life. It just wasn't Liverpool's stay. But and by the way, congratulations to Plymouth. We should be talking about giving congratulations towards a team like that, and not taking the low road, Mr. Prendergast. But very exciting prospect, and it's good, isn't it? Because we've got that's two attackers now coming on as well. Orazi is Orazi. I keep calling Orazi as well. Like we got two young attackers coming on, very exciting, very fast, very skillful. So it's adding that little bit of zip into the team that we've been lacking. So best luck to those, and we'll be keeping an eye on them. But yeah, you're probably not going to see him make a senior appearance now for Liverpool for the rest of the season, because he ain't going to be in the League Cup final, and they're out of the Cup, and the Champions League now is knockout stages. But best luck to him, and yeah, it's fantastic. And he's done really well. Just very quickly to finish up on him, like he's been banging goals in, hasn't he, for the underage Liverpool side?
Yeah, he's been one of the best players. I've watched all their youth league games that were they were playing, and he was probably their best player in the UEFA Youth League, and people were wondering why he didn't get a chance in some of the other FA Cup games, or the one other FA Cup game against Accrington Stanley. So like he played 45 minutes for the 21s yesterday and then travelled with them. So I was thinking, oh, maybe he's just going to be in the squad, make up numbers, but he done brilliantly. So he has deserved this opportunity.
Yeah, no, he has. Fair play to him. Obviously, another debut today in Belgium this time. Poor man's France. I jest. Some of my best friends are from Belgium, literally. Bazunu made his debut there for Standard Liège, and unfortunately on the wrong side of a 4-2. Haven't seen, just want to preface this, we haven't seen the goals, so we don't know if there were 4 worldies, horrible defending, poor goalkeeping. We do not know. We will check out those. I think Standard Liège have a YouTube channel which they do. They haven't put up any highlights of the game just yet, so we'll have a look at that at the first chance we get. But Gavin Bazunu, first game back, Connor, in about 14 months. Is this senior game?
Yeah, I know people were giving out saying, "Oh, this or that," about, "Oh, you conceded 4 goals. It's the nightmare comeback," whatever. Like, I don't think anyone really cares really how he got on in terms of. I know if he made 4 mistakes, I honestly would be very, compared to a normal goalkeeper, I don't really care, because the thing is, we haven't seen him play since April 2024, and like, it's all about getting back on the pitch for Gavin at this stage and playing regularly and building up match sharpness. I know people talk about 100% fitness with outfielders and goalkeepers. It's a bit different, but it's more reactions and it's being in that in-game environment. So I'm just happy that he's back out there and he's back playing, and the result doesn't really bother me, because I looked at the XG for the total goals, and it said the XG wasn't that, and the goals that were scored were goals that seemed to be good finishes in the bottom corner. But that was just looking at stats. It was the best possible way of seeing it for at the moment. But no, I'm happy that he's just back out playing, and I think it's a positive that he's back and playing every week, and it gives us another option in goal at senior level that if Kelleher or whatever picks up an injury or whatever, he can come in. But I'm just happy. I don't really care about the result of that. I'm just happy for him that he's back out playing after such a long period of missing men's football.
Fair enough. Fantastic for our other goalkeeper, actually, and Mr. Josh Keeley. What a weekend for him. First of all, he was voted goalie of the year. Or sorry, he's nominated for goalie of the year here. Connor, you brought this to our attention. I'll just name it it's the London Football Awards. Josh Keeley, Leyton Orient, David Raya, Arsenal, Mark Flecken, Brentford, Dean Henderson, Crystal Palace, and Hannah Hampton of the Chelsea women. And Josh Keeley, top of the list there. And also he starred against Man City yesterday in the FA Cup, and this is what Pep even had to say about him. They lost 2-1, but Pep said the keeper was really, really good. Pep Guardiola full of praise for Irish star Josh Keeley after tight FA Cup win, and there he is. This is a lad that you have been raving about, Connor, over the last few weeks. Do you remember, Martin, even demanded that I put him in the OBIG?
Yeah.
But fair enough, he's on loan from Spurs.
Yeah.
He could probably do with him right now, because that Kingsley, is it? Kingsley? Rubbish. Kinski, it's terrible. And, he got a goal to get him in the third round and everything. Like, this lad's having a hell of a season, Connor, isn't he?
He's turned Leyton Orient season around. Like, they were sitting in the relegation zone. I believe they were on like 6 or 8 points when he first came into the team, and ever since he scored that header, they went 14 games unbeaten in the league. And like, he scored that header, he saved penalties in 2 shootouts in the FA Cup, and he was absolutely superb yesterday against Man City. It's not just his shot stopping, it's his distribution. Even if you watch like with Man City, and he's playing balls, chipping them over players' heads into full backs or into wingers' feet, and he's just absolutely exceptional. And I think he's been up and he's the type of player that, because he's a goalkeeper, we have so many, he's not getting from the Irish media in general, he's not getting much of a hoo-ha about how good this lad is, because he honestly could go right to the top in terms of goalkeepers, because to be 21 and to be starring for Leyton Orient against Man City, and to be having probably, I'd imagine, all clubs across Europe are on high alert at the moment, because he has everything to be a modern goalkeeper. And it was good to see, actually, after Jack Grealish went up to him and told him how sick he was the term I was told, and that he had breakfast with Jack Grealish at Aston Villa when he was 16, and Jack Grealish remembered him and said it to him after. So, which always is good that I know he is all right with the Irish connection. We don't really like to talk about, but he's clearly a good lad, and it was good to see that he remembered Josh after all those years. And it's always good when Pep Guardiola is impressed by a player. So hopefully he can, after this season, I'd imagine it'll be hard for Spurs to keep hold of him in the summer, or whether he goes to Championship and loan or goes across Europe, because he's a top talent.
Yeah. Player, Martin, player that you've been very vocally against, actually. Connor, I'm sure you'll agree here, but here he is, a men's young player of the year nominees, Rocco Vata. Player, Martin, you said, you've come out in this podcast, you said that he's not much of a player, and here he is, Connor. He's, young.
Can't make up his own mind, can he?
No.
When did I say this?
Well,
taking other people's opinions more than his own.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I've ever said that about Rocco Vata at all. It was something that was
Squirm.
said to me that I weren't sure about. No, just back to Josh Keeley. I'd like to just go back to that. You didn't.
Oh yeah,
have the,
yeah.
No.
the arrogance slipped in again there, Dave. They didn't have the courtesy to come to me about him. But yeah, I saw him in action against Enfield Town at a pre-season friendly this year before he obviously went on for the loan move, and he was at Barnet, of course, last year as well. But yeah, he's certainly someone on my radar in a sense. And what we've always said about Irish footballers is they need to be given the opportunity and the profile raises. And with him, getting those penalty saves, scoring a goal, of course, as well. It's fantastic to see. And a question I'd have for you is, with Bazunu, obviously in Belgium, is there a chance that maybe he could come in as a fourth goalkeeper or even a third choice goalkeeper for this window in March if Bazunu wasn't making it?
I don't know. It's hard to say, but I think because I know the management have been in contact with him to tell him that they've been very impressed by him and that he's definitely on the radar, which is huge because actually I watched Bristol City earlier and Max O'Leary made a mistake and he's been quite mistake prone this season, and I think it's clear to say at this stage that we'd be much better off if it was, say, there were the 2 third choices between bringing Josh in and getting him in the first team environment, because that will, as you said, Martin, it will raise his profile even more because it'll get him saying, "Oh, this lad's a senior international at 21." So I wouldn't be against it, but I know what the way funds are at the moment with FAI. Would they want to bring in a fourth goalkeeper? Probably not. Would
they normally bring in someone from the League of Ireland, don't they?
Yeah, if they were going to, but would
well, I mean, is it not like? I mean, I don't understand what fourth, just as a provisional squad and just kind of see what they're about.
Martin, you were saying, I think Martin just meant 4 keepers in general, do you? Just to have an extra?
No, meaning if Bazunu's not around, for example, if they're thinking that it's too soon for him, we know what he brings. Is it a kind of reward for Keeley? But also, they have in the past, the FAI brought in into training squads and stuff, because the goalkeepers obviously coming in from matches and things, they do bring in a League of Ireland goalkeeper.
Yeah, just on that, Martin, I think the problem with that is because he's playing League One, they don't have a set international break, so it would have to be, he would have to be taken out of their season, and you'd have to be in the squad to do so, and
he wouldn't play.
And they're not going to have enough international call-ups you need a certain amount to hit a threshold to cancel a game. So I'd love to see Josh come in, and I'd love to see him come, even if he's coming in as third choice, and just to get him that experience, because it would be total reward for what he's done, because he's turned it in Orient season around with one moment, but I just think it's probably a bit, I don't think they will do it yet, because they'll probably want to get Bazunu back involved in the senior squad, because probably he still is second choice, that they probably would rather have him as second choice over Travers. Nothing against Travers, but that's just the way it's been the last couple of years, is him and Kelleher as the 2 number 1s.
Yeah, I agree there. It's going to be Kelleher, and yeah, obviously Bazunu number 2. I mean, he can still come in, Josh Keeley, if they have I imagine he has some sort of injury crisis. But yeah, I can remember the days. Do you remember this, Martin, when the Championship or Division 1 under the Premier League, Division 1 still had games during the international window, because it was only ever Premier League teams that had internationals. Then it's obviously
it's also a risk, though. Like you're saying, it's worth discussing. Well, mentioning, I suppose, that if he did get a call up and League One is not cancelled, I don't know what the competition is for him for the goalkeeper role there with his club and stuff. But it's more than it's when it is competitive. That was the thing, wasn't it? People being called up, and then you lose your spot then because that goalkeeper comes in as a worldie or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it's worth kind of thinking about. Actually, but yeah, look, fair play, he's done really well.
On that, Martin, actually, when he was at Barnet last season, actually he went out mid-season and played for Ireland, and then they dropped him when he came back because they didn't want him leaving. So it's just one of those things. But no, I think we probably won't see him in March. But if he was, I'd be absolutely delighted, because it would be just reward for what he's done.
Absolutely. No, I mean, we've always had good goalkeepers, and it looks like, Kelleher's 26, which is mental, isn't it? Bazunu's only 22. Travers 25, just off the top of my head here, and you have Josh Keeley 21. 21?
Yeah, 21, yeah.
21, so I mean, okay, he's League One, but he's not going to be League One forever. He'll be Championship, as you say, Connor, I believe, and then he's going to get it. He's going to get a move somewhere, because there's a bit of a dearth of goalkeepers at the moment, talent. Actually, I was having an interesting conversation with my brother-in-law, who's a West Ham fan, and he was talking about Kelleher possibly going to West Ham, but more out of circumstance than quality, if that makes sense. Because we all know Kelleher's the top goalkeeper, top 6 goalkeeper. But where could he realistically go? I know we're going a little bit off topic.
Chelsea.
But, I mean...
Man United.
But that's unreal. That's completely unrealistic, Martin. But Chelsea's actually realistic.
Liverpool won't sell to United though.
Don't, Martin, don't. Dave, are we going to kick him off the podcast? No, it's the most. When has that ever happened before? And it's never.
Doesn't matter that it doesn't matter that it's not happened before. And I know they don't.
It has happened before.
It has happened before. Yeah.
Well, what year was it?
60s.
Oh, 60s. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
football didn't exist back then.
But
no, but players have played for both clubs as well, not directly. Remember, they were going to do the Heinzer deal a few years ago, where who was it? Crystal Palace were going to buy Heinzer and then sell him to Liverpool immediately, and then realised they couldn't do that. But I can't, but I can't.
That's the difference. That's not.
Yeah, that was direct though. No, it wasn't. It's not happened direct. But like United have got to be making inquiries, and he was at United, and they didn't sign him young when he was young. Well, they should have gone for him.
Well, here's the thing, right? He's going to go for about 40 million. He's got 1 year left in his contract. Alisson has 2 years left in his contract. I was looking at all this today, actually, when we brought along. I was actually feeding my nephew before I came around. He actually got me an Ireland jersey, by the way. He hasn't worn it yet, but I've got him an Ireland shirt. So just trying to avoid a Declan Rice situation in about 20 years' time. But the thing is, right, with United, it'd be 40 million. Can United drop 40 million on the goal? By the way, he'd be perfect for United.
They could drop it, but also he should let his contract run down, and then it doesn't become as a stick.
Why, lads? This conversation, he's not going to United. Simple.
He should let his contract run down, and then he can go anywhere. And
if you go to Chelsea, or we going to Newcastle, or we going to Spurs, right? Because Chelsea are desperate need for a top goalkeeper. Newcastle, the Bravkas are number one at the moment, which shows that they probably were looking to replace Pope, but the Bravka had a good run of form. And Spurs are just all over the place because they're not going to bring Josh.
But here's
keepers is different.
Hold on a second, right? Here's the gut. Right, I'm on Sofa Squad here, right? That's what I was looking at earlier on. They have 5 goalkeepers, Chelsea. They have your man Robert Sanchez, who's 27 years old. Right?
Shite.
He is shite, but he's contracted until 2030, right? Then you have your man Jorgensen, who's 22.
Shite.
I was waiting for that. He's contracted till 2031. And then you got Benatelli, who's like contract for next year, and then you got some Selena and Bergstrom. So where's he going to fit in there?
As the number one starting goalkeeper for them in the Premier League and the Champions League next season, because they are in a bad need of a top goalkeeper, and that Sanchez is shit, and is Jorgensen came in from and was shit when he came in from. Then in desperate need for a goalkeeper, they are a mess. In the goalkeeper position, they're one player away from a super team.
I agree with you. Listen, Gallagher is a top 4 goalkeeper, right? And he is. And people might say, well, no, he is, right? There's no argument. He absolutely is. And Chelsea need him. And United need him. But what I'm saying to you is contractually, PSR and all that happy shit, how is he going to sign for Chelsea?
I will tell you what happens. We've seen what Chelsea have done over the last couple of years. 7-year deal, Queevy Gallagher will sign at Chelsea. That's what will happen. They'll put 50 million, 7-year deal. They were going to offer 70 million for Garnacho because they didn't need him. They would have got Garnacho on a 7-year deal if they got him in January. Chelsea know what they're at. They're going to get Keller on a 7-year deal if they get him. I'm telling you, Chelsea is the perfect club for Keller. Yeah. I don't know what people think in the comments if they want to put in what you think. It'll be a Chelsea, in Newcastle. It'll be a Spurs that he goes to. It could be Bayern Munich for all we know. I've seen the old goalkeeping coach.
He's not going to sign a contract. Norwich to sign a contract. But I'm not saying this out of ability-wise. By the way, I just want... Actually, Connor, as Connor asked, what do you think out there, Raw Faithful, about Gallagher? Where do you think he's going to end up? Because he won't be at Liverpool for the summer. He won't be. He'll only have 1 year left that they can get 40 million quid from, which actually could open a door for Man United, by the way. If they come knocking, there's no Fergie anymore. You have to remember that. And they're not really rivals anymore, United.
But United are going to keep on as
just on that though. I generally think it's different for goalkeepers. I think he wouldn't have anyone say you've left us and gone to our rivals, and that I can't see that. Like, do you think that would be perceived negatively from Liverpool fans? I don't know.
Of course it would. Yes, it would. Unless he's a cult hero at Liverpool for what he's done over the last couple of years. Even though he's not a club legend, he's a cult hero for what he's done over the last couple of years in the Carabao Cup and the moments he's saved the most penalties in Liverpool history and won the most shootouts.
People used to talk about. I know it's not. I think the only thing is the fact of a direct deal. But if he's out of contract, which he should do, he will have a good agent, I'm sure. run down that contract. Speak to people in it's January, won't it? That you can talk, won't it? On that last year.
Well, he's not going. He's going to go. Yeah. Why would he run down the contract? He's going in the summer, Martin.
He'll be gone in the summer.
Contract.
I can't believe we're even having this conversation.
No.
People are going to be pulling their hair out here listening to this, thinking that Man United are going to sign Keller. He is not going to United. I would love him at United any day of the week, but it's not happening. Can you stop?
I listen. I don't think he's going to run down his contract because he'd be stupid to. Because he won't even be number 2 because they've just spent a fortune on this new goalkeeper, this Georgianian lad, Valencia. I keep getting the club wrong. He's somewhere in La Liga. It is.
I'm hoping John O'Shea. I'm hoping John O'Shea is going to have a word with him in March and say, "This is what you need to do."
Now, the thing is with United, there could be massive potential there, but I don't think the rivalry is there. The reason why it hasn't happened for the last number of years is because of obviously Fergie, especially for the last 30 years. But I just think if they turn around and go, right, there's 50 million quid, there you go. They'll have to pay over the odds for him, and then you could talk him around, and he wants to get on board the project. It could go. It could happen. I don't think it will. But with Chelsea again, I just don't see where he fits in.
Oh,
how much did he spend?
How can you say United? United aren't going to sell. United are going to keep Onana. United aren't going to sell Onana because
I hope they do.
Bigger problems. United have bigger problems than the goalkeeper, and with PSR is a lot more. So you mean at United than is at other Chelsea?
I mean, with Sanchez, they bought him for 20 million.
Yeah, but he's shite, and we all know he is dreadful. It's the only position Chelsea are really bad in. So they need to strengthen. Goalkeeper is going to be their number 1 priority in the summer, and we know that because they've dropped Sanchez last week in the Premier League for Jorgensen, and then Jorgensen was shit when he came in. So it's the number 1 priority for them in the summer is a goalkeeper. Whether it's Kelleher or not, we don't know. But if Kelleher had to pick an ideal club to go to this summer, it is Chelsea, and not Man United because Man United is not an option.
Can I? Why isn't it like? I don't understand. Right, Chelsea are more of a direct threat, and fuck the tribalism. Like, let's just call it as it is. Liverpool top of the mountain right now for the moment. At this moment in time, United are bottom half of the table.
Yeah, but
why would you sell to Chelsea, who are a direct competition, and actually you could give them the missing piece of the puzzle and not give it to Man United?
Because at least with Chelsea, you're going to get good money, and you can add in clauses for winning. Because United, if you look at United, you'll go, United need another centre half. They need a left wing back. They need probably they need a right wing back. They're probably going to need a left wing back if they're playing Dogo on the right. They're going to need another number 10. They're going to need another midfielder, and they need another striker at least. So United have other positions they need to fix before goalkeeper. So I don't even know why we're talking about United, Kelleher to Man United, because it's never going to happen. The tribalism thing will never leave between Man United and Liverpool. It's just not going to happen, Dave. I'm sorry to tell you. I'd love him to play for Man United, but it's just never happened.
All right. I don't know. I don't see where he fits in at Chelsea. I don't. He's good enough to play for Chelsea. Don't get me wrong. I don't see where he fits in contractually, money wise. I think he could be very unlucky. I just think his timing is everything. You look at Spurs. They're a mess. Newcastle, maybe Newcastle
wouldn't be a bad choice. I don't think.
Nick Pope, I think he's 32 at the moment, so it could be the right time for him to go in there. But yet again, I'd want him to go somewhere like a top club. Bayern Munich have just got a new contract with Neuer, I believe. Courtois, Real Madrid. I don't know who the
Barca are a bit of a mess at goalkeeping. Barca, but I couldn't imagine. It's very rare you see. You've never had like an Irish goalkeeper going to Barca. Yeah. I just couldn't imagine it happening.
It'd be good enough for it.
Make a point. Yeah, he would be. But just to make a point. Do you see Martin hiding his hatred of Rocco Vata? That we were going to talk about Rocco Vata, and then suddenly he twisted on his head, and now we're talking stupidly about Kelleher going to. So explain yourself, Martin. Come on.
What?
Rocco
Why
Vata.
you hate Rocco Vata?
I don't hate Rocco.
Why do you hate him?
Just put up the image again on Rocco Vata. So these the London Football Awards, which are at Wembley Stadium, I think. So he's nominated as. Yeah, look, he's in there with Archie Gray. To be honest, he'll probably win that. Oh no, the other lad, the Skelly, he's the profile. These are a bit strange. These awards. It's London Football Awards, and they like to. It's a little bit. I don't want to dismiss the awards, to be honest, and I'm not. But it is obviously London based, and it's who they can get to go to the awards and collect it and stuff. And I see Declan Rice was at it previously, and Harry Redknapp and all that. It's like the Talk Sport. It's like a Talk Sport night out, basically, and then they get a load of London footballers going to it. But yeah, look, no problem with Rocco Vata at all. Don't try and get me on that. Very, very good player. A fantastic goal a few weeks ago, of course, and we spoke about him very highly. And we spoke about the Watford contingent there, and I am hoping to catch up and see Watford in action and see what he brings to it live in action. So, yeah, no problem with him, and fair play being nominated for the award like Josh Keeley. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see that. I think 27th of February is when those awards are.
All right, let's before we move on to OBIG. Before we move on to OBIG, of course, today is the anniversary of the wonderful Lee Miller. There's the Facebook post put up earlier on Lansdowne Road, 9th of Feb, 2018, 36 years of age. He died of pancreatic cancer, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, and like, you know, I think back to kind of the game then they did in Park Equive, and you know, to remember him and stuff, a really good event that was, and a lot of uproar as well, of course, the GAA getting involved there. But yeah, very sad, and fond memories of him. Brilliant lad, very popular. Didn't really work out from at United in a sense. Remember, that was a free transfer, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah,
Celtic at that time.
He was banging goals for Celtic.
Yeah, he was really good,
and
Champions League, yeah, and yeah, fantastic player, and yeah, sorely missed. So yeah, just thoughts with his family and friends today, especially.
Yeah, no, thoughts with his family. You know, one or two commented on it on the post today. Actually, you know, you never know who follows, and I just saw them there, and yeah, it must be a very difficult time to come around. Obviously, we posted on here because we don't want to forget any player, past or present. You know, we want to make sure the memory remains. And he was a good player, Miller, a very good player. Yeah. He was at Hibs as well, Celtic, United. He was at Sunderland as well under Roy Keane. Roy Keane put him on a transfer list, didn't he? 'Cause he missed the bus. Good old Roy, man management there from Roy Keane. But yeah, no, he's a fabulous player. Scored an absolute, his one and only goal for Ireland was a screamer against Sweden. Absolute worldly. Steve Staunton's first game in charge. About 20 yards out, and he just
the good days were back.
Huh?
The good days were back.
Yeah.
That game, remember? That was Niall Quinn's loving. Brilliant.
Niall Quinn. Yeah, we did an episode on that, didn't we?
We did. Never aired it, have we? Did we ever air that?
We did air it, yeah, Connor. It was one of the oldies where basically Martin and I just take the piss out of Niall Quinn. It was the Sweden game. Do you know what, Martin? I'm going to say it right now, and just on a happier note, Connor as well. We're going to set up a Twitch account, and we're going to do a watch along with that game. I've got the entire match. We need to sit. I think we need to watch that game.
That was fun
gas
because it's one of the funniest things from the commentary perspective, and I know that we've had a few comments about commentators here today and the coming up later on. But, Jesus, it was a good. We were happy though, weren't we? We were happy then back in those days, and yeah, Liam Miller, that goal was amazing. One of the best goals I've seen actually in the old Lansdowne Road.
Screamer. Absolute screamer. Anyway, we're going to move it on there. Comments just before we get onto OBIG, guys. Please, as always, have your say. Get involved. Do you agree with what we were saying? Do you agree with Connor? No way. No to Man United for Gallagher. Not going to happen. They won't sell him to a rival like Man United, but they'll sell him apparently to a rival like Chelsea. You're actually in a better position. But there you go. What do I know? And yeah, anything else there? Connor's just sitting there. He's staring daggers at me on his little screen. And anything else you want to talk about? Anything we've mentioned on here? Anything, you know, even if we haven't, you know, we want to talk about whether we'll talk about Fair City, anything. Get involved, have your say. Right, let's have a look at OBIG. Are you ready to correct me, Connor? Yeah, here we go. Connor's still got the hump. Right, here we go. Here's the goalkeepers. Queefing Gallagher, 90 minutes and a 1-0 loss against Plymouth for Liverpool's B team. Mark Travis doesn't play till Wednesday for Middlesbrough. Max O'Leary, 90 minutes and a 1-0 loss against Swansea for Bristol City. Josh Keeley, 90 minutes and a 2-1 loss against Man City for Leyton Orient. And Gab Bazunu, 90 minutes and a 4-2 loss against KVC Westerlo. Never even heard of those before. A nightmare debut. Still don't know. Guys, if you out there watched that game, I've seen the highlights. We haven't because they're just not available anywhere. Please let us know because I'm intrigued to see how they went. Anything to add there, lads? The goalkeepers?
No, I think we've had enough chat about the goalkeepers already.
It's always spoken about.
No more goalkeeper chat. I see your comments coming in there. Guys, keep them coming in. We are going to get to them after OBIG. Right, let's get to the defenders. And as always, Connor will correct any mistakes. Or Martin as well, if you want. Why not? Put the boots in. Seamus Coleman still not in the squad for Everton. in their FA Cup loss. Dara O'Shea not in the squad either for Ipswich Town. Their 4-1 win, I should say. Nathan Collins, they don't play till next Saturday for Brentford. They're against West Ham. Liam Scales, 90 minutes and a 5-0 win against Wraith Rovers in the Scottish Cup. Shane Duffy, 90 minutes and a 1-1 draw with Derby County for Norwich. Mark McGuinness plays on Wednesday for Luton Town. A lot of clubs out of the FA Cup at this point. Callum Down in 60 minutes, 3-3 draw against Stoke, and they won 4-2 in penalties. Matt Doherty, 45 minutes and 2-0 win over Blackburn for Wolves. Jake O'Brien, 90 minutes at right back and a 2-0 loss against Bournemouth for Everton. Ryan Manning, 90 minutes and 1-0 loss against Burnley for Southampton. Andrew Amabamadeli, 90 minutes and a 2-0 win over Montpellier for Strasbourg. Robbie Brady, he is injured again. Jimmy Dunn plays on Tuesday for QPR, another team knocked out of the FA Cup. John Egan plays on Wednesday for Hull City, his new club. His new club. Aaron Cashin, unused sub for Brighton in their FA Cup win. Asamlo Garcia McNulty, 90 minutes and 2-0 loss against AZ Alkmaar for PEC as well. Will Ferry, Celtic next Saturday for them. No cup football. James Abankwa, 90 minutes as a centre-back in a 2-2 draw with Sunderland for Watford. So a bit to unpack there. Aaron Cashin, a bit surprised he didn't make an appearance for Brighton in the FA Cup. Is this what we're to expect now with him sitting on the bench?
I'd say for the time being, it's going to be one of them things. It's like, when the defence playing bad and all the fans are crying out for him, and the answer is, he's not fully adapted to our team. He needs to get used to our style. This shit to come out with. But the manager said he made an immediate impact in training as soon as he come, which is, I hope that's the thing that's happening, and he couldn't be too far away. But I think Dunk went off injured. He went off injured quite early, and they brought on Adam Webster instead of him. Maybe didn't want to bring Aaron Cashin in straight away into a intense environment game like that. But if Dunk's out injured for a while, it means that it's only himself and Adam Webster, and I think Van Hecke is the only centre backs currently fit at the club. So he will get minutes. I think it's just I just think we have to bide our time with him till he gets a proper chance, and then he'll hopefully take that.
Fair enough. And also James Abankwa playing as a centre half.
He's a Swiss Army knife, isn't he? Plays everywhere. Play everywhere. Centre back, right centre back in a back three, right wing back, right back in a back four. I think it's just because of injuries at the moment or lack of depth at centre back that he's been pushed back into centre half. But no, Watford fans love him. He's doing well. So it shows his versatility, and it shows how talented he is, that he can, like, I honestly the only time I've ever seen him play as a centre half in the back four is Ireland or 21s against sides that are your San Marino type sides, so never in a competitive game as such. So it's, I don't know, it would have been underage football. It probably has seen past the last time he played as a centre back in a back four. And he played there last week, but like before last week. So it's good that he can just adapt like that and show his quality.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for Heimer Hallgrimsson, the Ireland manager, if he's got a player there that's that's as you say, Swiss Army knife.
What about lads? Sorry, just what about Robbie Brady? He's barely kicked the ball since he last played for Ireland. He's just injured, and then he'll come off the bench and play 45 minutes or half an hour, and then he's injured again. Like, what's the story? Like, what? Like, if Dennis Cirkin doesn't come in March, like, do you just keep picking Robbie Brady because we've no one else? I know he's done well. Like, he's done very well at Finland away game, but like, he's just not playing at club level because he's always injured.
It's a tough one because, I mean, even Ryan Manning is only playing cup games at the moment. Sorry, Martin, did I cut you off there?
No, you didn't. I'm surprised you talked about Robbie Brady because is he still playing for Ireland, Dave? Because didn't you retire him about 2-3 years ago, and then he still came back and scored goals? It's sad to see. Like, I'll repeat myself here, but like, yeah, Robbie, I think he could have been an absolutely brilliant player for Ireland. It's just the injuries have had an impact, and yeah, it's a struggling position for us, of course. But one thing I'd say though, you're talking about Abankwa playing in different positions. I know that we've always had versatile players, even looking back to Paul McGrath playing in midfield and centre half and things. And obviously we know that Matt Doherty is one who's also played in the left and right. Dara O'Shea's done it a little bit more. I'm going to have a question for you now, Connor, again, right? And I've asked you one previously last week about this, about technical players and stuff. Do you think it's more common now, and also to the Raw Faithful, I suppose, we just seem to have really, really versatile players now? Like, is that more of a thing in modern footballers? They're very, very versatile, do you think, because they're probably technically better, or And I think where it posed a problem for us is, like the likes of Jason Knight. I've repeated this again on the pod in the past. Just he never nails down a certain position. You just we've got so many players who can go in and do a job. Whereas I think we need to now have a player come in and go, I'm your right back. I'm your, I'm the left side. And that's it. Even thinking about Festi coming in. He's versatile, isn't he, a little bit? But, it's just, we just seem to have so many of those players. Not anyone is absolute star. And you think, when you're available, you start. That's it. And you play in that position because that's your best.
We just lack so specialists.
We just have so many who rotate around positions and just seem to be plotting them in certain places. No one nails it down.
Well, because we've no left, but we've no fullbacks. Like Coleman now is obviously he's not playing. I think a pair of you were on about him. Who's going to play for us in the next World Cup? Is he bollocks?
You never know.
Getting play. I do know when he's.
But do you think he's going to make? Do you think he's going to make the squad in March if he's fit? Yeah, he's our captain.
He's not fit though.
Well, he's back training.
Is he? I'd be shocked if he does. Probably bring him along with the squad, but actually pick him as a player, I don't know. Although, to be fair, it does depend on who we have, because if we have a fully fit squad, and Seamus Coleman, then I don't know. Can you really risk him? Because I think he got injured did he get injured in Ireland duty last time?
Against when he played against England, and hasn't played since, hasn't he? Not.
Yeah.
Remember he went off injured against England.
Yeah, so I think it's time to move. I think it's time to move on. But yeah, we just haven't had specialists. Like, we don't have a left back. Hopefully, Serkin will come into the squad. That's we don't know anything about that. In case you guys are wondering out there, Roar Faithful. So I think, Martin, you raise a very valid question. But it's just because we're just lacking specialist positions, specialist players. Robbie Brady, James McLean, all playing as left backs. Even Jason Knight playing as left. He played as left back, Jason Knight, didn't he?
He played wing back once, didn't he?
Right, wing back a little bit. Alan Bryan played there a good bit as well under Kenny. So
yeah. And Doherty.
But we are starting to develop more like we're a lot better off position if we have to play a Banco right back or Omar Bamadeli right back or even Jake O'Brien right back compared to playing Jason Knight there and Alan Bryan, where it's completely different from their role, because Jake O'Brien's playing their club level. If we have to play him there in March, I won't be worried because he's used to being in that, playing on the right of a back four. So I'm not too fussed. We're just in Banquist. I think a Banquist just very good everywhere, that you can trust them, that if there's a few injuries or you have to change shape for a certain game you're playing against, you have to play him there. They don't have a problem with him. I think it's just that he's a really good player in terms of his versatility, that he's just good. Because he's technically good, he's strong, he's fast, he's good in there. So you can't really not put him in a position.
Fair enough. We'll move it on to the midfield. Josh Cullen, unused sub for Burnley in their FA Cup game. Jason Knight, 90 minutes and a 1-0 loss against Swansea for Bristol City. Jason Malumbi, 90 minutes and a goal in a 2-1 win over Sheffield Wednesday. Late winner as well, actually. Finn Azaz plays Wednesday for Middlesbrough. Andy Moran not in the squad for Stoke City. Jack Taylor in 79 minutes and a 4-1 win over Coventry for Ipswich. Jay McGrath injured again. Well, still injured, I should say. Will Smallbone, 8 minutes in a 1-0 loss against Burnley for Southampton. Alan Brown plays, Sunderland play Monday. Whether he will or not, I don't know. Mark Sykes, 87 minutes in a 1-0 loss over Swansea for Bristol. Luke O'Connell, 90 minutes in a 2-1 loss against Stockport County for Barnsley. Boston Lawal, 33 minutes in a 3-3 draw with Cardiff, but they lost 4-2 after extra time and penalties. Conor Coventry, an assist, 90 minutes against Stevenage Borough, 2-0 win over Stevenage Borough. Rockavatsa injured for Watford, and John Joe Patrick Finn, 64 minutes in a 4-0 loss against Lyon for Stade Ram. Sorry.
Rocco was sick, by the way. He wasn't. He's not injured anymore. He picked up a sickness, and I just don't think he was recovered in time to travel to Sunderland at the weekend. So it's not an injury worry, thankfully. Much better off being sick than injured, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to come back in there, isn't he? Bit of a strange one there with Josh Cullen not playing for Burnley against Southampton in the FA Cup. Clearly, I'd imagine rested for the league. I think they're third at the moment. Burnley, aren't they? Drawing their way. probably to Premier League football.
In fairness, Cullen in the Championship is absolutely superb. If you ever watch him play in the Championship, he's like prime Rodri in the middle of the park. He's superb, but I think it's just rest, and we just didn't need him in the end because they brought in John Joe Shelby, didn't they, during the window? And I seen he started. They probably just build up fitness, and they were doing So he played actually just on two things. Jason Malumbi's last minute winner. Just the scenes in the Hawthorns when he done that, the top off, waving around, running around the crowd, going mental. Then the final whistle goes. He goes up to the Sheffield Wednesday fan, riling all their fans up. And then Kyle Bartley ends up being a scuffle in the middle of the pitch. Kyle Bartley goes and elbows one of their players in the face and gets sent off. And then in the Hawthorns, because the song they sing for him is Zombie with the Cranberries in your head, Malumbi's in your head, like in that version. So I had that on, and you could hear the whole crowd singing it, and you could just see he absolutely loving it because you just know how passionate he is about football. And for a lad like him, he just couldn't control himself with the emotions of scoring a 95th minute winner, which was great to see because he's been absolutely exceptional for West Brom a couple of years now. I know he's limited in certain aspects, but he is a very good player in that league. And Boston Lowell playing as a number 9 when he came on the other day, it continues to baffle me. Sunderland midfield or Stokes midfield, is very weak, and I know Wouter Berger played well today for them, but like they could do it badly in the middle of the park. Like their midfield's been so poor of late. Brought him on as number 10, and then Lewis Kumas took him off. I think he was just wrecked for extra time and put Boston up front. He actually done all right considering he's not number 9. Like his hold up play is good, and he can pass the ball because he's a good football brain, and he can take men on because he's so good at carrying the ball. But like, it was good to see him. He got about 50 minutes in the legs. He came on, I think, 87th minute, and then there was 12 minutes added on, and then half an hour at the end of the game. So it was good to see him get that many minutes in the legs and to impress. But like, it's just annoying because, like, as I've used, I speak so highly of him. I think he could be a real top player for Ireland, and to not be getting the chance yet when I know he still isn't 100% because you could tell he wasn't fully fit playing. But like, the only way he's going to get fully fit in men's football is playing men's football at this stage. Playing 21s can only get to a certain step, but I know good things are going to come from because he has a brilliant attitude, and he is. I know he backs himself to get back in that Stoke team and show how good he is.
He backs him, and you back him. Right, let's move on to anything to add there, Martin, to the midfielders.
No,
don't be accused of arrogance, you know.
No, just interesting to see Bosun playing, and player that we both like, and and also I can understand Josh Cullen not playing, but Malumbi as well. I mean, just thinking back to Heimer and thinking of the March squad and stuff, he's going to pick him. He is the one, I think, like you said, he needs a bastard. And I think he's the one who can do that role for Ireland.
Yes. I think of Malumbi, he does some things you go, oh my God, like he'll pull off some mad skill. You know, he'll have a 40-yard pass across the pitch. He did it against Finland, didn't he? And you go, where does he get this from?
I always say, Dave, the one thing he's missing, he just has no left foot. People talk about no left foot as he can't pass. It's just nothing goes through. Like, he can't open up his body in his left foot. He can't turn onto his left foot. He can't dribble his left foot.
Bit gangy, isn't he?
It's so predictable that it's going through his right foot. So you know exactly. Like, as a top-level pro, they'll know how to adapt to a player who's very one-footed, which I think probably could take him to the next level if he could. Hopefully, he is working on that all the time because he is still young, and people like to act like he can't improve as you get older, but that's complete horseshit. Like, so hopefully, I think if he continues to improve and have an ability to use both feet and open up on both sides of his body, he could be a very good player for Ireland.
Yeah, he's got talent and he's aggressive, and I like that. And we'd be missing that, really missing that. Right, let's move it on to the attackers and then on to the comments. Evan Ferguson, Saturday, he'll hopefully make his debut for West Ham against Brentford next Saturday. Troy Parrott, 90 minutes and a goal and a 2-0 win over PZ Zwolle. Unused sub Adamaida for Celtic and a 5-0 win over Rate Rovers. Tom Cannon, 82 minutes and a 2-1 win over Portsmouth Sheffield United. Sami Smonic, 35 minutes, injured again on the same ankle. More about that. Festi Abasela not in the squad for Istanbul. I'm not even going to.
Başakşehir.
Casey McAteer, the 17 minutes in there too. 1 loss against United. Mikey Johnson, 24 minutes and an assist and a 2-1 win over Sheffield Wednesday. Chidozie Ogbeni still injured for Ipswich. Callum Robinson, an unused sub for Cardiff City, which is surprising. Michael Obafemi, 9 minutes and a 1-0 win over Liverpool B for Plymouth. Aaron Conley not in the squad for Millwall. And Sinclair Armstrong, 28 minutes in a 1-0 loss against Swansea for Bristol City. Tyler Goodrum, Tuesday, that's when they play. Why was Aaron Connolly not in the squad? Cup tie?
Yeah, he played his last game for Sunderland. Actually, he played 90 minutes for them in the Cup, so he couldn't play for them the other day, which is a pity because Millwall got a very good win, didn't over Leeds. So, fortunately, he won't be part of their. The chances are they're probably going to draw a top Premier League team, and he's going to miss out on it, which is very unfortunate. But what can you do? I watched Bristol City earlier this morning against Swansea. It was a 12 o'clock kickoff. I thought Sinclair actually was very good when he came on. He scares the life out of defenders. No one can handle him winning free kicks. The problem is now with them is they don't play to his strengths enough. And then when you see them, sometimes you get the ball and you see Knight pick up the ball in the middle of the park. And if there's any bit of space, they just hoof it in behind, hoping that Sinclair will run onto it. But it probably ends up with they overhit it and it goes into the keeper's arms. So Bristol City are a very poor side, to be honest with you. It's just a mess at the moment watching them play. And I wouldn't advise anyone who wants to be a seeing to watch Bristol City because they don't know what they're doing. There's just nothing going on there. But I think Dave, you'll probably want to speak on this, but Sammy Smodic's getting injured again is very disappointing coming up to an international window and something that I can't understand how he started a game after missing a month out. I thought he should have played 20-30 minutes coming off the bench, but I'd say you want to speak more about it. Yeah.
Same ankle. That's very reckless. That they've done that. Normally you bring him on for the last half hour, you ease him into it again. I don't know, desperation or what, but I just couldn't believe it. Martin, I don't know what you thought of it. Like, why would you start a player like that? Like, very reckless, I thought. And same ankle now, and it looks like he probably is going to miss. He's going to miss the March window.
Yeah, disappointing in that because I think he's going to be a big player for us, especially March. I was looking forward to seeing him. I think he's only getting better and better in the Irish shirt. So, disappointing to see him injured now. And another cursed injury.
I think
ankle. That's the third ankle injury we've kind of had, isn't it? Really, Bazunu, Chidozie, is that ankle?
There are Achilles
Achilles ankles.
I think it's more
impact
related.
Right.
But hopefully, do we know how serious it is or whether it was a reaction and the thought we'll take no risks here. So hopefully it was that sort of thing. But the chances are he probably done it again, and because he won a penalty, he actually won a penalty for them in the first couple of minutes of the game, which was good to see. But I know Amari Hutchinson wasn't in the squad for Ipswich the other day, who is usually their starting number 10, so maybe that's why Smodic started. But it's just baffling to us but obviously they must have thought he was fully fit because a month isn't enough time out to miss to completely ruin your fitness. But compared to 100% after missing a month out, it couldn't be. It just doesn't really seem to add up to me.
I think he panicked, McKenna. Just reading here in the Ipswich Star, it's the same comments that you can find everywhere else. Just said it's a big blow. I don't know if it's a reoccurrence, but it's the same ankle, so the chances are it's probably linked. And it goes, that's a big blow, no doubt about it. We've really enjoyed having him back with us training this week. He gives us a different dynamic, a different maturity, a different age profile. We'll keep our fingers crossed, but that's the big downside from today. I just think he panicked. I think when they lost to Southampton, which kind of shows you where Ipswich are, Southampton are terrible, and he lost to Southampton at home, didn't they? They lost Southampton home in the Premier League, and he's probably just panicked. Right, we need this guy back, and he's a big blow for us because I think he'd be huge for us against a team like Bulgaria. He would cut through a team like Bulgaria because he's such a clever footballer. He gives you a different dynamic up front. It's just a little flicks, the runs, he just links up play. He's so dangerous. I know he hasn't scored a goal for Ireland yet, but you just see our forward, our attack looks so much different when he's in it. It just gives you a different dimension. So what Kieran McKenna is saying there is correct, but yet again, why did you play him? My guess is he's panicking. He wants him back in because I think he probably thought, and I'm speculating here, he probably thought that Ipswich, we just keep chipping away. We'll be all right. We'll get 6 points against Southampton, and we'll just keep ourselves in the relegation fight.
Dave, they lost to Southampton at home.
That's what I'm saying.
You said we'll get 6 points against Southampton.
Yeah, but that's my.
Sorry, I thought you were.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking. We'll do that. That'd be fine. And then all of a sudden he lost, and it's like shit. I need him back. That's what I think has happened. That's why I think you're rushing him back. because it was the last game before that, wasn't it? It was the last league game before that. Don't fucking correct me, you cheeky little bollocks.
see that the anger's coming out because I don't think
is,
that Gallagher will go to Man United because of that
That's
silly comment.
Fucking silly, correct me. What was he say? Don't date me. Don't date me, Martin.
Don't doubt me.
Yeah,
Don't doubt me on this Gallagher thing. He is not going to Man United. We can watch when you see him hold up a Chelsea jersey in the summer. You will be like, "Jeez, that fella knows it all."
Shouldn't be going near Chelsea.
Why would you sell him to a direct rival?
Oh, stop.
Right.
It's the same argument you're fucking using for Man United. Why would you sell him to a
He
rival?
will go on to Chelsea in the summer. Simple as Chelsea,
Right.
Newcastle, Spurs. If you won them three, it'd be great.
Right. Shall we get to the comments, chaps?
Go on.
See,
Yeah.
hopefully make more sense to the pair of you. Before we do it, though, of course, do not forget. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, and also, if you wouldn't mind, liking the video as well. It does help. It does help the algorithm. We're trying to grow. We're trying to get 2,000 subscribers, lads, before the next window. Can we get to 2,000 YouTube subscribers? We need you, the Raw Faithful, to spread the message. Hit that subscribe button if you hadn't already. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before the March window. Can you help us? Please. Look at this face. It's a desperate face. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter account. Also, don't forget to give Connor a follow over on Twitter as well at Red Track. If you want to find out how the future and the present girls and boys in green are getting on, that is the place to go. He's also over on Facebook. Actually, Connor, you were moonlighting the other day, weren't you? You were on a different podcast.
Yeah, I was over on a Spurs podcast talking about Mason Melia's move to Spurs, which we've actually not even spoken about here, which is one I'm surprised we've completely gone over our head because there's been so much happening the last couple of days. But what a moment for Mason Melia, and what a moment for the League of Ireland to finally a player get some recognition for what he deserves, because in my eyes he's the best 16-year-old when he even broke through at 15 to play in. I know he's 17, but like 16, 17 that we've seen of a young player ever playing the League of Ireland, because we'd Ferguson at Bowes, but he wasn't a regular in the team. He wasn't starting. And now Mason Melia is the main number 9. And he was starting every week last season over Aidan Keena, who's a very good striker and has done very well at the League of Ireland and probably will do well this year. So it's absolutely outstanding what he's done. And it's just reward for what we've done, for what he's done in Pats and what Pats have done developing him, and what he's done since Joseph Boys and Bray Wonders as well. So it's a huge moment for Mason. And I'm telling you, the under 19s in March, it's going to be a scary front three of, if it works out to be IK Orazi on the left, Mason Melia up front, and Trent Kone-Doherty on the right. That's a very, you would struggle to get a better front three in under 19 football across Europe. So it's looking bright for his future, and thankfully Mason Melia is a very, very special footballer. He's once in a generation coming through in League of Ireland terms.
Yeah, I mean, I actually want to get your thoughts on this, Raw Faithful. What do you think of it? 1 million, was it £1 million?
1.5 million pound.
£1.5 million to rise to 4 million with add-ons. Am I reading that correctly?
I think it's 3.5. I think in euros it was 1.9 and rises to 4. But I think because things with currency, I think they'll pay it off in £1.5 million. But by the time it's all paid off, the currency could be 2 million, or it could be 1.8 million in euros. Yeah. So it's 1.5 to 3.5.
No, fantastic. First ever £1 million player from the League of Ireland. Just desserts, really, isn't it, Martin? I mean, finally, hopefully this is I believe this will be a watershed moment for the League of Ireland. It will give clubs confidence now to negotiate, because you need that precedent, don't you? You need to turn around and go, well, we want £1 million players. Oh, you don't sell players for £1 million. Well, yeah, we do. So I think it'll give them the confidence now, won't it, to get more money, to get more. They've been underselling their players, haven't they? Like the talent, like some of the players that have gone from the League of Ireland to the Premier League and Division 1 over the years. Like some of the very best Irish players started in the League of Ireland. Roy Keane, Paul McGrath, Ronnie Whelan, Home Farm. I think it's fantastic for Irish football.
Yeah, brilliant. And it just raised the profile of the League of Ireland, of course, as well. And straight away, Spurs friends of mine contacted me saying, who's this guy? Is he any good? what do you know about him? So I obviously referred him to Rep Tracker on Twitter and said, here you go. Here's what you need to know. And also follow us at Lansdowne Raw and listen to the show. Look, it's brilliant for the league, as I said, and brilliant for him to get that move. And we have to remember that sometimes these transfers happen. Brexit does have an impact now on Irish players moving, but that's big money, that whatever way you look at it. And I hope he just will be given a bit of time, patience with him, let him develop. And like you said there, we've spoken in the past, Connor, about some of these players that you referenced coming through, and we're so eager and keen to get these players in there and see what they can do. And we know there's a lot of hype about these players and stuff. We obviously want the Irish football team to do well, but it is worth looking at them at under 19s, and even the under 21s have got a good draw now for their next qualification campaign. And it's worth just looking and following these players and seeing how they're getting on with these games, and let them have the time to develop, of course, because there's incredible talent coming through there. There really is. And I think, that's whether you say it's because of the FAI putting the infrastructure in place a little bit with the coaching, all these clubs have got their act together and doing really well. We know like the St. Kevin's boys have done a great job over the years bringing players through. But there's a number of clubs like that in Ireland doing this. And I think we just have to be very patient with them. But I would say to everybody, do follow the show, of course, and obviously follow Connor, because we will be covering these underage games and talking about these players and how they're getting on. And we're the forum for you to kind of follow that. So, I'm really excited to see these players coming through now and see can they live up to the hype.
Absolutely. And, of course, we will be following the League of Ireland. We're going to have our own League of Ireland programme, Connor and Martin.
Yeah. Keeping a good eye on the podcast on the channel this week. So hopefully we'll have something released early next week for fans.
No, we absolutely will be. We're going to be following Irish football. We're very passionate about it, obviously, and it's fantastic that League of Ireland starting to get that platform it so rightly deserves after so many years of abandonment. Really, right? Let's get into it. Let's get into the comments. Right, first up, here's a shock. Rolling Stone. According to Dixon tonight, that Trent Kone-Doherty lad is one of the quickest players he's ever seen. You need more than pace to make it to the top, but it's a tremendous asset to have. You look very fast. I mean, I think pace. There's a lot of players out there with no brains, no end products. They just have pace.
We didn't even see Trent Kone-Doherty in full flight tonight, so I even know why he's really saying that, because we didn't see him really take off like past anyone or go on a big sprint, which is a bit strange that he came up with that comment.
Is that one though, Lee Dixon probably just reading the commentators' notes about the squad and going, he's a rapid, and I better say that.
Like, once he ever watched Liverpool under 19s or 21s, not to say, but I couldn't imagine Lee Dixon would sit down to watch Trent Kone-Doherty play for Liverpool under 21s or under 19s in Europe. But fair play to him. He's not wrong. He is absolutely rapid. So it's huge. It's one of the most important assets to have, particularly as a winger. So long may it continue.
Lovely crossing today as well. Like, he whipped it in. I thought, okay, he's got an end product. So pace and an end product. Not bad. Darren Hartnett. How you doing, Darren? Regular follower as well, Bows fan. Evening, lads. Hope you are well. Will you be going to the Bows Rovers match? We'll be watching it. Won't be going to, though, unfortunately. Just time.
I might go. I haven't decided yet. I may be there. I may not be there. I haven't decided yet. Depends how the week goes and other things, and see what. But hopefully, I will get there. I want to go to it because it will be a good moment for the League of Ireland to have 25,000 or such going. So hopefully, this tickets will continue to rise and get close to the 30,000 anyway. Yeah,
25,000, and it's set to be the largest attended League of Ireland game for decades. Because I know Daler used to get like 30,000, didn't they, back in the days? And drums and all that in Talca Park, they used to get massive crowds. So this could be one of the biggest, probably the biggest League of Ireland game ever in terms of attendances. I think it's brilliant. I think this is the sort of thing as well, Darren. I know I used to go to League of Ireland games when I lived in Ireland. I'll be a Pats man, I suppose. I will be a Pats man. But I used to go to Pats games as well, and they were great fun. I used to live across from from Deddyman Park as well, in Cabra Park. And I just think it's fantastic. We need more out of the box thinking like this. I think it's a great initiative by the League of Ireland to play the opening game in Lansdowne Road. I think it's a brilliant idea. I know some clubs, some fans of other clubs were against it. I don't know why, because, you know, I think you'll agree, lads, it's all about bringing the profile, the prestigiousness of the League of Ireland up to scratch. Now, we had the President's Cup on the other night. I was watching it in my mate's house down in the South Coast, down in Sussex, on my few days off. And, you know, I had to say Shells looked impressive. They do play some good ball, actually, Shells. Drogheda were dreadful, absolutely terrible. But you're watching on a pitch. I know Talca Park doesn't have the best pitch, and it doesn't have the best facilities, especially when it comes to storms and floodings, that kind of thing. But I don't know, lads. What did you think of it? Like the presentation with the President's Cup, it still lacking that razzmatazz. Do you know what I mean? That kind of like we need to get the glamour of the league going. Do you know what I mean?
There was a deal with Premier Sports that was done in the off season about for League of Ireland TV, and so I'm not too sure what actually the role of Premier Sports is at the moment, because Virgin had the rights for matches. And maybe it was to improve the product or improve the camera setup, because I know there's some clubs like Kerry, you try and watch again. If you try to say, for example, you try to watch their stream, and sometimes unwatchable because the picture quality is bad, or whether it's just everything is bad and they can't handle the weather conditions possibly. But hopefully that's fixed. But like, yeah, there's still a long way to go. Like, and obviously when the pitch isn't up to scratch and the stands are a bit worn down, which is sometimes is the beauty of the League of Ireland, is how old school some of the grounds are. But there is still presentation still has to improve.
There's old school and there's prehistoric
character.
Yeah, character. Yeah, that roof's coming down, character. No, I mean, I'm delighted to see it's going in the right direction. It is absolutely the league mark going in the right direction, but there's a lot of work to be done. And as I said, I don't get the other clubs having an issue with the opening game. Please feel free. And
did I read though they look to get more games there though, aren't they? And I don't have a problem with it myself, as if they kind of, because the profile that's it, and it's money, and it's TV money, and it's advertising.
I do think we can keep it, because it'll get to a stage where people because a lot of people are buying tickets because of such a spectacle it is, and it's happening it's only happening for the first time now. Like, so you can't be doing this. I don't think you can be doing this 4 or 5 times a season, because you get the stage you'll only sell 10,000-15,000 tickets, because
it loses the novelty factor there.
I think
will just be gone.
I think the opening day of the season should be held there. And, you know, they could do that. Look, you could do something where you could have a game there. Maybe you could have like a revenue share or something amongst the other clubs or something, just, you know, so everyone benefits from it. You know, there's something that can be worked out. They need this out of the box thinking. They need this to get the league moving forward. And I think we all agree it's going in the right direction. But anyway, let's continue. Dean Flood, thank you, by the way, Darren. Dean Flood, how you doing, Dean? Decent day for players, apart from Gav. Yeah, still haven't seen the goals, lads. So if you have, let us know. But yeah, a bit of a nightmare start for poor Gav. Rolling Stone, looking at Collins last week, looks like he is up to his own tricks again. Switching off, ball watching. It looks like that will always be part of his game. Do you know what, Rolling Stone? I agree with you. Go on. Sorry, Connor.
No, I do think that is his weakness in his game, but like, I'm listening to you speak about it.
You shot me down when I said this. I said this to you, Martin, and you're a witness. Now, come on now. Shame, tell the truth. Shame the devil.
I didn't disagree with you.
But I turned around and said, and you were defending Connor. I was like, he switches off, he ball watches. And that's what's stopping him from being a tippy top. I mean, like a top elite defender. Well, not elite. I mean, you're playing the Premier League, you're pretty much elite. But you know what I mean? Like a tippy top player. He needs to sort that out.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. Silence is definitely.
I just hate this conversation because we have it every other day, so I'm sick of speaking about it.
No. Thanks, Martin. By the way.
Yep.
Rolling Stone. That Joe Patrick Finn, we need to aim higher than him. He won't add much to our midfield. Go on, Connor. Let you have at it, son.
I don't care about that. I imagine Rolling Stone hasn't seen him play more than twice yet, so it's a bit early to say anything on him yet, because he's in a new country, a new league, a new language, which he said himself he hasn't learned yet. So it's a very long way before we can make our mind up on Joe Patrick Finn, because I don't know, like me myself, and as everyone knows, I like to talk up Irish players. I still haven't made a full opinion on whether I think he'll be a long-term senior international or not. So, but I think we have to give him a chance to show what he can do and not make our minds up on him just yet.
Yeah, I just come in on that as well. I've watched him last 2 games, and he doesn't bring a lot. He's not a number 6. He's a ball carrier. He brings the ball forward. He did pull off a lovely block actually today, a lovely tackle on the edge of the box, and then he got it and he passed it forward. That's his strengths. But I just think with Ram, it's not possible with them at the moment because they're a very poor side, and he just bypasses midfield a lot, and he just does a lot of running. Do you know he covered the most? Did you see that he actually ran the most on that pitch today? And that was the stat that came up. So no, it's very early days, Rolling Stone. Very early days indeed.
And the good thing is he's a good athlete. He which is always positive to have a midfielder, and he is good technically and he's good driving the ball. It's just he has to we just has to be more consistent with it and like a bit more bravery, I think, and just a bit more putting your foot down and showing that you can be the main man in that midfield, not just a part of it.
Yeah. Harrison Daglish. Hi, first time on the stream. Thanks for bringing this content, folks. Thank you very much, Harrison. You're very welcome. And anyone else watching the stream for the very first time, thank you very much. Have your say, get involved. We'll read your comments out, don't you worry. Most of them anyway. Just don't act the bollocks like one did earlier on. And we don't mean you, Rolling Stone. We mean someone else. Yeah, we'll listen to what you have to say. But if you're just typing like letters, as somebody was earlier on, we're going to ban you. Rolling Stone again. We seriously need to go after those English lads who have an Irish Terrier. Elliot or Jones might have one. Malumbi. Harrison Daglish. Hi, Rolling Stone. I think you're being too doom and gloom. John Patrick's a very young midfielder with limited experience. Too soon to make any sort of claims. Just what you said there, Connor. Alfie Barker at Rep Tracker. I know you're very high in Trent, Kone-Doherty. What did you think of his performance today, and how much potential do you think he really has? We did talk about him earlier on, so just as quick as you can there, Connor.
Top player, top talent. Hopefully he will continue to develop and probably get a loan move in the summer, and then we see where he goes from there.
Fair enough. Rolling Stone, but looking at him, he doesn't have a very high ceiling. Moran is our only midfielder who could make it in the Premier League. Was he not slagging off Moran earlier on?
He does and he doesn't. Sometimes he just says about his physicality and saying about the championship. But no, Andy Moran will make it in the Premier League. I've no doubt to be a Premier League player. But as will Finn as will Boston now all. I've no doubt about them 3. And we will see on the rest. Hopefully the rest about it. But if some of them end up playing in the French League or playing in the Bundesliga or playing in the Spanish League, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope. Scotland. What's this lad's obsession with Scotland? Scotland have a lad, Lennon Miller. The Scots ex-players are in awe of him. When a player is special, it's undeniable.
Rolling Stone, you've told us about Lennon Miller 600 million times in the stream. Him and Ben Doe, can never stop about them too. So can we please stop talking about Scottish players? But
you've upset Connor now. Stephen O'Rourke, hey lads, great job. Thank you very much, Stephen. Hope you are enjoying it. Martin Fitzpatrick. Martin, who likes to keep us abreast of everything going on. Sends us news and bits and pieces. Here we go, lads. Here's a meaty one. Martin, you go first. You've been very quiet.
No, I'm not. I you know what? I started writing it down and I can't get it. I can't get it to start 11. I think it's worrying me, the Sammy Shimonik's injury, because I would have definitely had him one of the first names on the team sheet for me, what he's going to bring to Ireland. But yeah, I can't get it in my head.
I don't think it's that much. I'll give you starting 11 right now. Oh, go on. Kelleher, O'Brien, Collins, Omobamidele, O'Shea, sorry, not Omobamidele, O'Shea, and then Dennis Zirkin, presuming he's in the squad. If he's not, just throw Robbie Brady in there. And then we'll have Josh Cullen, we'll have, depending on the day, I might go with Jason Knight, and then I'll have Finn Azaz in the 10. Then I'll have Mikey Johnson on the left, Evan Ferguson up front, and I will have Rocco Vata on the right. Thank you very much. That'll be my team.
Vata.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you start Rocco Vata? We don't have anyone else to play on the right as well. Who are we going to play on the right? Fessie's not going to play on one leg. Either is Ogbene. We're not going to play Casey McAtee over Rocco Vata if we want to score goals.
Jesus Christ. All right, Connor, calm down.
Just want to thank Martin Fitzpatrick for asking the question.
Yeah,
I was going to give it I gave a diplomatic answer and said I need a little bit of time to really think about it, but you know, you're giving Connor's throwing out debuts there, isn't he?
We changed my team.
We've thrown in 2 debuts there in that one.
Who's that?
Haven't you? 2 debuts?
Zirkin and Rocco Vata.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with it, but I can't see him doing it.
Neither do I. Either can I, but that's what I would pick because we're playing Bulgaria, who are, as I've said before, they are a poo team. They are terrible.
He's going to go 4-4-2, isn't he? I'd go with your back four. Yeah, maybe not Omo. He'll probably go Shea. I don't think he'd take too many risks with it, but he will go with.
I didn't mean to say Obama. I meant to say Shea. Sorry.
No. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I agree with you. He's not going to go. He'll go with O'Shea. He won't take any risks. I think Sirkin is a shout. I hope Sirkin is a shout because we badly need a left back. I'm not, because we don't have we've been using makeshift players in that position as we talked about earlier on. So yeah, hopefully Sirkin. Midfield, yeah, it's going to be Cullen, isn't it? And he'll probably go with. What do you reckon?
It's been Knight as of late. He's used Knight as that. Well, I know Malone played against England, but in the games against Finland and stuff, when they were both available. But I know actually, Liam. Actually, if anyone was going to put Liam Scales in the team, Liam Scales actually can't play in.
He'll be suspended.
Bulgaria. If Cashin starts playing in the Premier League, I'd have him straight there because we won't have a left centre back, and I think it's still very important to have a left-footed centre half in modern football, especially if they are of the quality to play. Not if one's like Van Dijk and the other is Liam Scales, for example. It's if there's not much between them and you want just that wee bit more on the ball and ability to play on the left hand side and fair, but
well, it just makes it easier.
Starts playing, yeah.
Just gives you more. Gives you more range at the back, doesn't it? Because you got two right-footed players. Like it's always going to go one direction, isn't it? Or it's going to be a very awkward, and you leave yourself susceptible to mistakes, which, by the way, we have But anyway,
and obviously we will be waiting for the squad to come out in March and following that and doing our predictions then, won't we, Dave? And our preview shows that we often do.
Oh yes, we will be over in Bulgaria as well for that. Cannot wait. And actually, you're staying with me for one of the nights, Connor, as well, aren't you?
No.
Fuck you then. You can sleep in the bus station, pal. Right. Harrison Dalglish, the Edinburgh Road. Oh, that's Hibs, isn't it? No, that's Easter Road.
Easter Road, yeah.
What's Edinburgh Road? Hold on. Come on, lads.
Is he responding to something like Rolling Stone said? Imagine about Scotland. Probably something is it where Motherwell play or something. That's where Lennon Miller is at.
Possibly. Team Flood. Obafemi has had a rough time at his clubs since Burnley bought him. He's just had a rough time altogether, Obafemi, hasn't he? He's always been turbulent wherever he's gone, Obafemi. Even with Ireland, when he started, there was a bit of controversy around O'Neill. And, is he going to play for Ireland? Is he going to go to England?
That was O'Neill's fault.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm not saying it's all him, but he's just wherever he's gone, he seems to be kind of unlucky with that. And then he's had the run-ins. He's had a couple of disciplinary issues where he's gone at a couple of clubs. And, he just can't seem to nail down a place, can he, at the moment, Obafemi? The boy has potential. You don't score a goal like that against Scotland if you don't have ability.
No, you don't go from that to being backup option for Ryan Hardy at Plymouth. Like Ryan Hardy scored the penalty today, and he seems to offer a lot to that team. But like in terms of talent, it's night and day between him and Obafemi. And like I stick up for Irish players a lot in the situation, but he's one case. He has to do a lot more himself to get to near the level we think he should be playing at. Like because like there's no way Michael Obafemi should be playing as a sub number 9 for the worst team in the championship. I know they won today, but they are the worst team in the championship.
Yeah.
Decent defensively at the moment, but it's not what we expect of Michael Obafemi, and he needs to do more himself.
Yeah, I mean that's the question: isn't it? Why isn't he doing more? And they see him every day, so there must be a reason. John O'Mahony. There are lots of Irish players in League One, especially at Barnsley, Luke Connell, Lincoln and Wrexham. Can you see any progressing at club at international level? Probably Luke Connell, really, isn't it?
Luke Connell, Sean Rowan at Lincoln, Joe Gardner, who's just gone on loan to Lincoln. But he actually got sent off 5 minutes into his debut, which wasn't great. But it was a bit of a harsh. It was a bit of a 50-50 whether he'd give it a red or not. It's just he kind of go with the referee's decision really. But there's a lad in League Two doing well. He goes by the name of David McGoldrick, I believe. I think.
Oh yeah,
he could become on the radar.
Young enough coming.
Yeah, after scoring probably the best goal I've ever seen in my life last weekend. No, there is a good few in League One now that like Sean Rowan at Lincoln and Joe Gardner at Lincoln. Wrexham seems to be more of older generation. Barnsley with Luke O'Connell, I'm trying to think who else is in League One at the moment. Can't think really of anyone. Obviously, Josh Keely's playing in League One at the moment.
Yeah.
And Ollie O'Neill.
I mean, the look of Martin's face there when you said Ditsy's name. I mean, if his name is no doubt, Martin just hates him automatically, doesn't he?
I think he just sees him as competition. They're not really as any way in terms of talent. McGoldrick shits all over him in terms of what he's done for Ireland. McGoldrick shits all over him.
I think McGoldrick is the player I doubt it could have been.
Yeah,
if he just had applied himself a bit more, Martin. Yeah.
I think, in this international window, what we normally have now, March, you obviously have the Ireland games, and what a lot of clubs try to do is generate money. They have the Legends games, and so I think Spurs are taking on Bayern Munich, and whatever it is. And I think Robbie Keane now, sadly, he's obviously not eligible for that game because he'll be managing only. But if he'd have played in that game, you'd be calling him up probably for Ireland on the back of what he can still offer.
No, we don't call up Finnish footballers, mate. We call up lads that are in their prime and are scoring every week. Did you see that goal he scored last week? Did you see that goal he scored? Yeah, brilliant. See? Yeah. Tell me. Yeah,
it was a shame for
Robinson
Stephen Kenny. It was a shame for Stephen Kenny when he let us down and when we really needed him and didn't come into that squad.
Well, that was during COVID times. I'm sure he had his.
That was his first family. Steve.
Yeah,
he wanted to
put his family first.
Yeah, that's more important. Horrible
you vilified a member of the coaching staff who did that, Dave.
No, I didn't. Not to their face, anyway. No, I absolutely did not. I know who you're referring to. Think about it, Connor. He was referring to.
We have a lot of so do check out the YouTube channel. Check out some of our past episodes. No.
That's a legend. No. Don't you start? Don't you start making mischief now, Mr. Prendergast? We don't know what happened.
Is it about a member of the Irish coaching staff that left us?
Yes.
Anthony Barry, I'd imagine then.
Which one? Duff, Barry, Kelly. But
I think Anthony Barry's not Irish, so he could leave anyway,
he was kind of half Irish.
No, but he doesn't have that. I don't mean he doesn't have that loyalty to the country like someone who's from Ireland,
A Welsh name, isn't it, Barry? Moving on, Rolling Stone. I don't think your viewers realise how far the standard of the player has gone down. There is only probably two outstanding strikers in football today: Lewandowski, Haaland, and
Gyökeres, who plays Sporting Lisbon, and that's three strikers. Rolling Stone. That's not two.
I was going to say, look.
What about Harry Kane?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Harry Kane.
I am with, and you'll go for me on this, but I'm with Roy Keane on Haaland. I'm not having him as an all-round in that level. No way.
No, I agree. I agree with that. He's not an all-rounder. He's a poacher.
Nah. Yeah. And Haaland, he'll break records now in that incredible team. But Haaland, I'd still have Van Nistelrooy in history over Haaland.
Oh, God, yeah. Van Nistelrooy.
So Haaland, for all the hype about him, Haaland won't win a Ballon d'Or.
No. Sure you did Van Nistelrooy.
No, I'm just saying, Van Nistelrooy went to Madrid and things like that. He was the top striker in Europe at one stage. I don't ever see Haaland being that.
Van Nistelrooy, probably before your time, Connor. And it's actually mad thinking that because, I can remember...
Unbelievable.
Ian Rush, I can remember John Aldrich, those players at that time, Mark Hughes. But Van Nistelrooy was superb. I remember him for PSV. And do you remember Eurosport? May she rest in peace. Eurosport's gone now. Do you remember, Martin, he used to have Euro goals? And he would just be banging in 2-3 goals per game for PSV. And then United had him, and he failed the thing. Do you remember he jumped up and he landed on his knee?
And it's in the video of it. That was the first thing that kind of went viral, wasn't it?
Yeah. And you could hear the knee actually go. You could hear it. It was like, oh, God. And then the transfer was off, and he got him. He was amazing. Sorry.
But all I'd say is Haaland, as much as I do think he has a lot to be said about his all-around play and link-up play and stuff, in the penalty box and finishing wise, he is probably one of the best strikers we've ever seen because he's the fastest player. Is he the fastest player to ever reach? There was something. It was like the fewest amount of games reached to play to reach 100 goals.
Yeah,
it was like.
But I'd argue.
He's done it, but I think there's a reason why he was. It's not just that he's playing for Man City. He's breaking all records that's ever been in the Premier League. It's like they had Sergio Aguero, who's one of the best strikers we've ever seen in the Premier League, and who's a lot more all-round striker. And at his prime was world class, and just probably injuries dented a long career for him.
I would argue, though, and probably Mark's going to make the same argument, is that if you put any of those, if you put the players like Van Nistelrooy, if you put John Aldridge, Ian Rush, Alan Shearer, these players of all the different generations, Andy Cole, they'd get the same amount of goals, because in that Man City team, he's just a focal point in that team, and he's got balls coming at him everywhere. Also, he doesn't have defenders trying to kill him. He's got better pitches, better conditions.
It's a great argument. This, like Roland said, a great point of how the standard player's gone down
for once.
Van Nistelrooy,
the standard player hasn't gone down. That's bullshit. I will
never. No. But what I would say though is it's the type of like defenders back then.
I think it's the match winners. I think match winners have gone down. Individual match winners.
I think individuality has gone down. They're overcoached now.
No, a little bit of that, but I'd say
because everyone's so good.
But I just think not really. Martin,
I think it's everyone's so good athletically and everyone's so good technically. People try to say Ollie, but like these sort of like Matt Letizia, I don't even know if he'd even be a Premier League player. Not even obviously I never watched him play, but all the Premier League years and goals, you could watch him all for hours, which I've done. Like, I don't think you could even say, would he be a Premier League player in modern football because of the lack of athleticism that he has, which isn't a shot against it, but it's just how football was back then. Like, I look at a player like Cole Palmer, like back in 10 years ago, even like 15 years ago, there was a lot more Cole Palmer type of players because that sort of individual star was like someone like that was just so focal to the team. Now at the moment, it's just about how you fit a system. It's like with Haaland. Haaland could do a lot more than it's set out to be, but his goal in the team is just stay in the box, stay high up, don't get involved really in the build-up play. Like, I'd imagine he gets awful bored playing for Man City at times. Like, I really want to get involved, but which it is a skill at the end of the day. It is having the patience to consistently make them runs or consistently stare, because like, I don't know about you, but like, if I was playing for him, I'd be constantly trying to drop deep, trying to get on the ball just to touch the ball, because he's not touching the ball, which is a skill. Obviously, I do think there's been players over the years who are better than Haaland, and I just think that he gets a bit more criticism than what he deserves, because there's a reason he's at number 9 in Man City's side.
I just think if you look at a player like Thierry Henry, who could do it all, even Luis Suarez, not so distant memory for Liverpool, in my opinion, probably the best player to ever play for Liverpool in terms of skill. He was just a lunatic.
His best number, I think he would say, is the best number 9 we've seen since R9.
Haaland.
No way, Suarez, not Haaland. No, Suarez.
Suarez was. I know, Martin, I don't know what you think about that. Suarez was absolutely. Do you remember Suarez, Martin? He was.
Yeah, I remember Suarez. Amazing. Yeah, but like ultimately, street footballer, basically. Like, yeah, like Robbie. A lot of similarities a little bit with Robbie Keane was like that as well. Like, he did have that street footballer. Damien Duff, they did have that. That you had that type of player. Ronaldo R9, without a doubt. I think Ronaldo R7. He's the one who made it. Footballers become athletes, basically. Changed the game with that, without a doubt, for me. But I'd also point out that these players, we're talking about how good they were. I'm a lot older than you guys, but like with like, I love Mark Hughes, the early days of the Premier League and stuff. Like, even Paul McGrath was playing then, coming to the end of it a little bit. But like, them centre halves, they held. They took no prisoners, basically, back then. I think one thing you have got now is, without a doubt, defensively, you don't have a John Terry, you don't have Rio Ferdinand. There's a massive lack. Even you think of Mourinho's Chelsea, Carvalho coming in there, Desailly, Champions League, like World Cup winners, people like that. The standard of centre halves now is definitely dropped off. Like,
Van Dijk's the best centre half.
Van Dijk stands out.
He's the best centre half I've ever seen. There's not.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I would never get that. Yeah, no. See, I would never.
There's nothing. What
Vidic and Yapstam was incredible.
What does anyone do better than Van Dijk? There's nothing Van Dijk doesn't do at
world class level. But now,
I would say he's the best I've ever seen, and I think that what people like to hold against Van Dijk is just stupid. I try to say about strikers, but it's not like he's playing against some word. Like he puts Haaland in his pocket. Like I hate Liverpool, like passionately hate Liverpool. But when I watch Van Dijk, I just think he's just there's nothing ever really seen like him.
But the point is, though, is that he's not like I think what's happened is the way I think Sky have a lot to answer for, because football only started in 1992, and they don't go beyond then. But you had defenders in the 80s. Mark Lawrenson, Martin, Alan Hansen,
Kevin Moore,
but like just ball playing centre back.
Ball players, different,
ball players. Paul McGrath's a ball playing centre back.
Yeah.
Like he played everywhere for Pats. I think he played up front, midfield, whatever. He could play for midfield at a high level for Ireland, and he could play anywhere in that midfield. He often did. He was number 7, wasn't he, as well? A right midfielder. He was a centre midfielder. And he could also play as a ball-playing centre-back in the 80s, where, you could elbow, they could elbow you. It was vicious. You've had ball-playing centre-backs. That's the point. You've had, if you ever go back and watch Liverpool in the 80s, they played pass and move. They played one-touch football. They were renowned for it. And that, Martin, I don't think
it is a difficult thing to watch. Like, the 80s football was difficult to watch, though, let's be honest, because the back pass slowed it all down and stuff. It was like 1990 World Cup. I know we get carried away talking about an awful watch with a lot of it was. I mean, emphasised obviously Ireland first of all there, but also Euro 92 as well. Dreadful. Schmeichel's antics and stuff, but they won at Euros and they took advantage of them, the rules and stuff. But one thing that does, I agree with Dave, football didn't start in 92 as we know, but what they've also done, there's been revision history of the Premier League as well. Do you know, like even now rating like Aguero, like they're just dismissive of Andy Cole, even Shearer. Like the longer we get away from them eras where Andy Cole was breaking records, Shearer's records incredible. But the further away you get from that, they just forget them, and you think, oh, it's Haaland.
Jamie Vardy broke Nistelrooy's record, didn't he?
Yeah,
11. He's got 11. 7. Jamie Vardy.
But he held the record with John Aldridge. So it was actually Aldridge's and Nistelrooy's record. Nistelrooy tied it with Aldridge. Aldridge was a goal machine. Absolute goal machine in the 80s for Liverpool. He actually did very well for Bilbao as well. But I tell you what, I think this
great
is
chat though. Yeah.
I tell you, this is a podcast. I think the three of us need to sit down and have it and just debate it out.
Well, I don't even think. I just think Van Dijk. I just think Van Dijk's on another level to everything we've ever seen. I just think. I do like in other positions. In other positions, I would argue other players from back. Like I would always say Scholes, and like I would always say Rooney. Like Rooney's not that old, but like I just think what Van Dijk does as a centre half is just I've never seen. I don't think anyone's ever been at the level he's playing at, and he's consistently done over the last couple of years, coming back even from an ACL tear.
I would still though say it's just dismissive of Ledley King, Sol Campbell. Like it's incredible. Like Tony Adams of all his troubles as well. Like for just to be a defender was incredible.
The thing is, back in the day, you could get away a lot of that stamping on opponents, and it's a lot more physical. Like now, more I know you're still physicality, but there's a lot more. You have to have a skill to be a top. Like it's a top skill as a defender now, which shows. But I just think Van Dijk's best. But it is a podcast and stuff. I just think Van Dijk's just much better than everyone else.
We'll move it on, but we're gonna come back to this. We're gonna have a podcast about this. I think this is a discussion, and I'm gonna relish.
Okay.
We should just call it, Martin, Connor's education.
Some of them, like there'll be few. Some I agree with John, but it's just Van Dijk. I just think is on another level.
All right, it's just reminded me. Remember, I said to you I had an idea for a video and I couldn't think what the idea was. It's actually something similar to that. Anyway, we'll move it on, guys. We got 1,600 watching us, by the way. Thank you very much, guys. On a Sunday night, it's absolutely fantastic. Fantastic support as always. Lee Mewitt, did you hear Matterface call him Kone-Doherty? Oh yes, I did. How did you say his name, Martin?
Doherty.
No, but what's the second bit? What's the first bit of the double barrel second name?
Was that Kone? Kone-Doherty.
Kone-Doherty.
Kone.
You should learn your Ivorian names. You should be well.
Doherty.
Should learn fucking Irish.
You're from London. You should be versed in all these multicultural stuff.
Moving on. Am I right in saying Matterface and Dixon is the worst commentary duo in football? I don't like the Sam Matterface. Does he do the talk sport? Does he host talk sport as well?
He has in the past, yeah.
Does he?
Robbie Savage is a bit
he's
poor
awful.
on Jermaine Genius. Wherever Jermaine Genius and Robbie Savage are on, it can be pretty poor.
Did you see the maybe I mean a bit controversial lad squeaky bump time? Did you see what was it Siobhan Ahern?
Oh,
And,
Siobhan Ahern with Jermaine
did anyone
Genius.
see that?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was just, I
ridiculous.
turned off after 30 seconds. It's a bit uncomfortable watching. not gonna lie.
Outrageous.
It's
Outrageous.
horrible.
I'm surprised she didn't make him crawl getting his knees.
Just for a bit of context, this is Siobhan Ahern off TalkSport talking to Jermaine Genius, who's obviously was sacked by the BBC and some off-field antics, I suppose. But like just the judgmental kind of side of it, and it's just absolutely
why don't shoot a man down when he's down, or shoot a man while he's down? Like leave.
Yeah, but like this
he
is
got
just
work for,
modern
by the
media
way?
with it, isn't it?
Who's he working? Because I said I seen
is
he
it?
got a new. Is it TalkSport itself?
No, he was with the BBC, wasn't he? He was at one. He was one of the one show,
no.
wasn't it?
He's back though, isn't he?
No, I mean that the
is
new
he?
job he's come into.
Oh, I don't know.
Hold on.
But like, look at the history of it with what the hypocrisy of the modern media when Andy Gray and Richard Keys, hairy hands,
Yeah, it's TalkSport.
when they got sacked from Sky, they were given a job at TalkSport because it's all owned by all of them. They're all Murdoch partners and all that kind of stuff.
Not anymore,
Ridiculous. But I just don't like. It just annoys me. I mean, look, I know I think we will chat about. Obviously, we've spoken about wokeism in football again on previous episodes and stuff. But even the stuff of Alan Brazil and TalkSport during the week about the women's game with Siobhan Ahern, very divisive character. She's sister of Rusha Littlejohn, isn't she? But we've had lots of chats off air about this, and we're supporters of women's game, of course. But
what he said was you can't say that on there. Whatever, no matter what you say, you can't just dismiss people like that, because I know obviously the Man United men's team is priority, but he's trying to say that there's no interest in the women's team, which isn't true. Like I'm not a supporter of Man United's women's team, but what he said is just I do think that was, but then we have on the flip side we have Sam Kerr, the Chelsea women's player, who was flat out racist to police officers, and I've seen her girlfriend stated that what she said was justified, which is one of the most mental things. If that was flipped from a man saying about a woman, or a man saying about a white or black man, or a white man saying about a black police officer, I do think we'd be talking about something else. But I also do think people deserve a second chance, but there is a lot of hypocrisy in modern, and especially when it comes to athletes.
Fair enough. Don't forget, if you want to subscribe to Rep Tracker.
And
I joke.
Also say we've given Dave a second chance by getting you back as presenter this evening.
Oh, thank you. Yes. No, I do. I think the world's crazy. We spoke about it. I'm gonna move on from it, but I think the world's absolutely mad. I think it's crazy. You can't have an opinion on anything. That's Alan Brazil's opinion. I wouldn't quite agree with it.
I can understand it.
It was too staunch. It was too staunch, in my opinion.
Yeah. It was too staunch, but that's
his
opinion.
Thing is, at the end of the day, though, you have to understand Alan. I think the context of Alan Brazil, though, like she was going, "You're a dinosaur," and it is. Look, we're talking about it. It's got great publicity for TalkSport, and that's what sometimes I'm thinking in the background is wind up radio, isn't it? But Alan Brazil has done a lot worse and said a lot worse, and on TalkSport and still not been sacked. So it's not going to cancel him. And he's that's just him.
They're going down that route, though, aren't they? With I wouldn't say so much, but they seem to be going down that kind of straight talking old boys club. When they had White and Jordan, which I do enjoy, and then they have Graham Souness on it, who does talk absolute drivel. To be fair,
and they've had Martin O'Neill on it as well, haven't they?
Oh,
and they've had and obviously you've got Jeff Stelling as well. And they will ring round it's the Soccer Saturday guys, isn't it? That's their pundits. It's still all the pals act.
They're I think what they're doing is they're kind of sweeping up from Sky Sports a little bit, and people feel disgruntled. Oh, the white middle-aged man is getting discriminated on TV, etc., whatever. And then they're like, oh, we'll have that because now we're going to get that audience, because that's a massive and it is a massive audience, and they will get a massive audience. So kind of going down that route, because then he had up front with Simon Jordan, which I actually enjoyed, where he would be very blunt with people, and then it was like he was doing one with Souness. I was like, two old men just giving out about clouds, and then fucking Troy Deeney coming in, and then there's three of them, and you're like, really? I don't care. Like they're really going down this. And then he had Henry Winter, because he got fired, didn't he? Because he was perceived as being too old and white and middle aged and all that. That was the thing to put around it.
Culture now, the ageism and everything like that.
So,
you see that.
so they're going with that, and then he's on it, and then I'm like,
he's a good journalist. In fairness, he's a very good journalist. But just on that, actually, it's funny. Just came there when you had Alan Brazil and what's Little John's sister called? I'm not aware of her first name.
Lucia. Oh, Siobhan. Siobhan Ahern, yeah.
Yeah, Siobhan.
Lucia's sister, Siobhan, yeah.
They had Gabby Agbonlahor in the middle as the peacekeeper, which is something as the voice of reason as such, which is something we've never had on Talksport before, is Gabby Agbonlahor as the voice of reason.
Yeah, some crap he comes out with. Anyway, we'll move it on. Sorry, we've got loads of comments to go through. John O. Galakabar, am I saying that right? John, I apologise for I butcher my own name. Love the work you do, lads. Keep it up. Thank you very much, John, over on the YouTube channel.
Is it Gallagher or Gaeilge?
Oh, it'll be Gallagher and Gaelic, isn't it? Yeah.
No, we don't say Gallagher. Oh, here he is.
In what, Martin?
Gallagher.
Exactly.
Gaelic. Osquelga, you bollocks.
But did you already say how you said Gallagher?
What did I say?
I think it's
said Gallagher.
What did I say?
Like the
he
English
said Gallagher.
Gallagher, I said.
Is he Scottish, Martin?
Gallagher.
Yeah, fucking unbelievable. Is that Gallagher, John?
Keown Cabages.
Gallagher, I says.
Gerard McCann. Hi lads, enjoy these lives. Good man, Gerard. Will John Patrick Finley?
What's his first name? What's his first name in English?
Gerard.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Irish podcast here. We're an Irish
podcast. You got to try and catch me out there.
No, I'm not. Go on.
Gerard McGann. Hi lads, enjoy these lives. Thank you, Gerard. Will John Patrick Finn be in the March squad, or will Vata be the only uncapped player called up? I think it's fair to say, Gerard, and you lads can add on to it. I don't think John Patrick will be in the March squad. June can't maybe. He's not doing enough, is he, Connor? We watched him.
Well, if Smallbone and Jack Taylor don't go and starting again, like will Smallbone turn down a move on deadline day because he wanted to stay at Southampton, but didn't even start against the Championship side in the cup that they lost. He only played 17 minutes or something, and obviously Jack Taylor started, which is a positive.
Sorry, did he turn down a move, Smallbone?
Yeah, I think Middlesbrough wanted him to turn down a little move.
Martin's out of the family picture over there.
Family WhatsApp have kicked me out.
I think he turned out. It was this mic's gone off. Sorry, can you hear me all right? Mike went off there a second.
Yeah, sorry,
he turned out, I think it was Middlesbrough or something, I think was the club he turned down to stay at Southampton. So that could be two lads. If they're not playing regularly and John Patrick Finn is playing, and at the end of the day, if he continues to start every week in a top 5 league, it is hard, but he still needs to do more himself. But like, it's not like we are having loads of options.
Fair enough. We'll move it on. Wally Roy. I wish it was 14 again and that World Cup coming up this summer. Some memories. Great page. Thank you very much, Wally. Really appreciate it. Rolling Stone. Man United's biggest problem is midfield at the moment. Okay. I think they've more problems than that.
Yeah,
Rolling Stones. I think it's one of those. And I'm not even being funny. It's like, where do you start? Mark Dornan, Michael Owen, Paul Ince, Liverpool to United on about the Kelleher.
But that wasn't direct. That wasn't direct. Not direct.
No, it wasn't direct. Also,
Michael Owen went to Man United to win trophies. Paul Ince went to Liverpool to be a big time Charlie.
Pick up his pension. Matt Busby, Liverpool player, wasn't he?
Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah, there you go. Rolling Stone, Eamon Duffy reckons Gallagher could be our greatest keeper ever.
Cheers, Eamon. He's not wrong. He could be, but cheers, Eamon, for your valid opinion.
I doubt
it is. If he continues to play it, like Shay Given never played for one of the top teams in Europe.
Probably she clearly hates Shay Given.
Does he?
He's never forgiven him for 2012, is he? He's never forgiven him for 2012.
Jesus.
He said
he hates them all.
He said that about him in 2012 because he wasn't fit. That was Dunphy's taking it that he fibbed about being fit. He wasn't fit for Euro 2012, and we should have had David Ford or one of the other goalkeepers in.
Kieran
Westwood, yeah. No, I think Given's still going to be a greatest goalkeeper ever. Given, don't forget.
It's the caps and what he's done for international. But I think at club level it could change because Kelleher's still young. Like,
yeah, I mean Kelleher is superb, but I mean I remember when Given started, he was crap. remember he was at Celtic, then Blackburn, then Newcastle. He was terrible, and then he just clicked, and he was superb.
Packy must have a lot of trophies, though, mustn't he? Like league, who'd be our most decorated goalkeeper? Probably would be Packy, wouldn't it? I think. But Kelleher must be not far away.
Kieran Westwood, for all he done in the championship for all them years, what was it? Most clean sheet or most appearances? Or
Oh yeah, but the trophies wise, Packy would have won a lot.
All
So I suppose, did he?
Let's
But
have a
maybe
look.
not cups and stuff. He would have.
Let's have
Yeah,
a
but
look.
I think if Kelleher goes on or like becomes Liverpool number one and became like fucking Barcelona number one, our opinions would on who our greatest keeper is just because of who they're playing with and what the level they're consistently playing with.
Well, he won 5 Premier Divisions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because the Scottish top flight was called Premier Division for years, wasn't it? 5 Premier Divisions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Scottish Cups and 2 Scottish League Cups. And he finished 17th place in the Ballon d'Or in 1989, which is mental when you think about it.
And two World Cups and a European Championship appearance.
But what about
got us knocked
the
out.
thing is you got about Kelleher and like it's just the team. With goalkeepers, more about the team that they're in more than them themselves. Usually with international football. But Anthony Stokes could be our most decorated footballer if we talk about footballers with Celtic trophies. Like,
well, Kelleher has 1 FA Cup, 2 League Cups, could have a third, 1 Champions League, and Super Cup. And he doesn't have a Premier League because he didn't make 10.
Liverpool don't have a Premier League, did they? Because of fucking lockdown. We told you about this before. We've done that one.
It's not 10 appearances anymore. Is it not 5? For getting a medal. He get a medal this season. He
wouldn't have made 5. I get a medal this season, but he wouldn't. He never made 5. And by the way, Mark, and just for anyone listening,
repeat it back from staff. Get a load of them now as well. You get one of your like Roy said. You get a massage lads. Are we getting a medal? No, you're not getting a fucking medal.
Liverpool were 25 points clear before they closed for lockdown. Just putting it out there. Anyway, Gaudoge McGann, Barca for Kelleher. Listen, he's good enough, but my point is the contractual situations that he might find himself in, the competition and the spaces. Sorry, the spaces. I don't think there's enough spaces for Kelleher. I think he's going to be very unlucky. But he is a tippy-top goalkeeper. Dean Flood, you can tell it's a slow news day when we're talking about a Liverpool Academy player going to United. Dean.
It's not even been in the slow news days. As a certain Mr. Prendergast who's thought this is a good idea to think Kelleher should go to Man United, which is ridiculous. Making people think we have a slow news day here. Do you hear that, David?
I know, right? Everything's going on. Debuts, rugby, everything. Rolling Stone, not top player who want to go to Man United. They are a basket case at the moment, a graveyard for talent. They are destroying Manu. Kobe Manu, is it? Destroying everyone else. Yeah, Darren Hartnett. He'd be great in Newcastle United or Chelsea. About Kelleher, which I agree with, by the way. But I don't know. I can't see Liverpool selling to Chelsea. Rolling Stone, if Kelleher was English, all top clubs would be after him. But yet again, Rolling Stone, it's not that the clubs wouldn't be after him. It's just with PSR, he's a superb goalkeeper. It's just with PSR, contracts, the moment in time, I don't see where he's going to go. That's going to be a tippy top club, just other than Man United. Max could only dream of Kelleher United. I'd say his best shot is somewhere in Europe or maybe at Forest if they keep the form up. The thing is with Forest, though, lads,
they won't keep their form up.
No, if they do get to the Champions League this season, which they could very much do, they'll fall away like Villa. Like Villa and like Newcastle did when they were in the Champions League.
The only thing is their squad is deep and their owner is investing a lot of money into that club. But although, like, as good as they might be getting Champions League, next season they'll probably keep up with Gibbs White because of that. But the season after, Gibbs White won't be staying there because one of the top clubs in England will really be off a player like that. The same with Murillo, Milenkovic. They can't keep hold of these players forever unless they replace like Spurs in the traditional top 6 or something like that. But but if he went to Forest, I wouldn't be against that if they're in the Champions League. But Matt Sells has actually been good as of late. But I know Forest fans and Forest themselves, if you remember, last January on deadline day tried to sign Kelleher, but it was too late. Like Liverpool weren't going to sell him.
That's right, yeah. Rolling Stone, we haven't produced a midfielder of real quality since Stephen Ireland. Oof, that's a bit out of left field.
That's not. Well, you wouldn't. Would you agree with that?
Andy Moore. I know he's awesome. Andy Moore's a top midfielder. It's just we haven't seen. Still young.
Robbie Brady, bar injuries. Robbie Brady.
I don't.
Good as Stephen Ireland.
No, I don't know. I don't think he was. I don't think
we never seen Robbie. I think if Robbie really reached his potential, he could have been, but we just injuries stopped
I don't think that's a bad show. Like when you think about it, you're talking about 06, 07? Who have you produced that's of real quality in midfield?
I know,
pure technical brilliance. No, not in his ability wise, but what they've done with themselves.
Stephen Ireland fucked his career up, and
mentally though, like I'm not being bad. He couldn't cope with it mentally, could he? That's it, and that's part of the package. And
but he was superb. And United were apparently looking at him when Scholes was winding down. I'm not saying he was as good as Scholes, by the way. Jesus. But I'm just saying that they were looking at him to replace Scholes because he was a similar type player, very technically gifted. And he was a superb player. He was really good. He could have been world class. He had all the attributes. And he was at City. And that could have happened because United were, City were, I think it was under Ericsson and Mark Hughes, wasn't it? Yeah. So they hadn't quite reached those levels. He was a superb player. Yeah. So I actually...
The thing is, Rolling Stone didn't say we haven't produced a player as good. I think he just meant of that quality. So Robbie Brady probably could have been, if just things went right. I've never seen someone so unlucky with injuries like Robbie Brady.
Yeah.
Technically unbelievable. Like that left foot he has.
He's got that zip.
That zippy athleticism's gone. It's just, unfortunately.
Yeah. If you're a midfielder and you're a passer, is a zip in your pass. And Robbie Brady has it. And he was probably the first last Ireland player for a very long time. Stephen Ireland had it, that zip. When you just pass with real authority. Boom. Not that kind of unassured bobbles across. It's a bit shit. Yeah. Bang, right across. It's going exactly where he wants it to go. Robbie Brady has that.
It's an interesting one. Like, I'm just thinking about Stephen Ireland playing for Ireland, and his record was incredible. Like, he scored a lot of goals, key goals as well.
3 in 5 games, something like that.
Yeah. And I mean,
Wales, Slovakia, San Marino.
I'll never forget. Like, when he left the squad, and that, we were pulling our hair out, weren't we?
Yeah, he was great.
So, that was a little joke there.
Stephen Hunt was pulling his hair out, literally. No, he was a great player.
Genuinely a good player. But like we've never been able to nurture that type of player like Wes. We didn't nurture Wes. He was technically brilliant as well. And
Wes had his limitations when it came to off the ball though as well. Though that people do.
Andy Reid was another one who we just didn't get the best out of probably. So we can create good players, but
No, but I think that's a shout by Rolling Stone. But anyway, we'll move it on, guys. Old Dude 420. Molumby can be a Premier League player. Next season's will be his prime. You touched on that, Connor. He just works on his left side. You never know. Lemieux, thoughts on the under-21s group? England game will add to the interest in it. There is no fixtures yet, but they are still going to be played in Turner's Cross, guys.
Yeah. Turner's Cross is the unofficial home as such for Ireland or 21 football these days. But yeah, it's actually just on the group. It's a very, very good draw for Ireland. They should easily finish second, not to discredit the other opponents. But like I've seen actually they've changed it this year. It used to be like, I think it was the 4 or 5 best second place would automatically qualify as part of the second, and the rest of the second place will go to playoff. This year it's only the second best second place. So realistically, if Ireland could basically win every game except the 2 England games, the very good chance of finishing that second place, or even like it's not a unrealistic thing for Ireland under 21 to get a draw against England at home or even beat England at home, because the talents there, like as I've said, Dave, with them 3 lads, the front 3, the under 19s, they'll all be stepping up to the under 21s.
Yeah.
For September for when the qualifiers start, unless one of them breaks into the senior team, but it's still hard to know as of yet. But no, that under 21s group and England's under 21s group next campaign, I don't believe would be as good as what it is currently or what it was the year they won it. So it'll be even though they'll obviously be stronger on paper, it'll be a very entertaining group, and one that Ireland have to finish second at the I do have to say at the minimum, but like if it's realistic to finish second, and it would be a tragedy really, to be honest, because if you look at the last group they had, Ireland were second seeds and they got Norway in pot 3 and they got Turkey in pot 4, which is mental for under 21's draw.
Fair. Rolling Stone says he likes Molumby. He's a great closing down space, but he's a donkey. Ken Carmody. Sorry, Ken, if I'm butchering your surname. I do apologise. Kelleher to Chelsea makes perfect sense. Ireland need a spine of players at top 4 clubs to bolster our squad. Not inconceivable that Kelleher, Collins and Ferguson will be at top 4 clubs in 25-26. Fair.
Yeah.
Ronnie Stone asks what people's views are here on Moran. Dean Flood says he's tough prospect who's had a few bad loan to relegation championship teams who wouldn't be able to get the best out of him. And he reckons that he's one of those players, I reckon, who just isn't suited for the championship.
That's what I said, actually. I actually remember when I said that last week about playing in that Stoke team, playing on the right wing and not playing as a number 10. I don't know why he wasn't involved in Saturday. I'm guessing he was either rested or he was injured or sick because he scored the winner against Hull the week before. So I don't know actually what. But no, I think I would agree. I think the talent that level that lad can go to is something we don't have currently in an Irish player. I think he can go to the very top, and it's just about getting the right club that can nurture him and get him the best out of him. And like, it's not like he's brilliant attitude. He's can be a main man in the top team. We just need. I don't know what the team is yet, but hopefully it'll happen because I know it will happen. We just need to happen sooner rather than later.
Fair. Gerard McGann asks, too soon for Sean Rogan?
Rowan, you know, the fella at Lincoln City. Yeah, it is. Yeah, until he's playing championship, which hopefully will be soon. It's too early. He's left back.
Rolling Stone, the real top talent take to men's football like a duck to water. Dean Flood says, well, not necessarily. Well, that's what Dean Flood says.
Oh.
Yeah, Harry Kane's first few seasons were rough. And then he also says goals and assists have kind of dried up for Izaz the last couple of weeks. What say you, Connor?
Another one with that, I'd say, who you often forget about struggling early on in the Premier League, like Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
Remember, like he was fucking unbelievable.
He was a left back, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then they realised, and they went to town, didn't they, in the Champions League? Seriously, like
you talk about there's so many players, yeah. That Inter Milan against Maicon when he sent him to retirement home. But
3-0 down.
Yeah, but there's nothing against Rolling Stone here, but I think that's a huge over-exaggeration. Like Liam Delap, even for example, he went on multiple loans, and if you ask anyone how bad was he at Stoke when he was there, so like obviously I still think Liam Delap, Ferguson's a lot better than him, but but in general, I think it's very harsh to say that about a player because a lot of lads don't take the duck like a duck to water at men's football.
Fair. He also says, of course, there are exceptions, but the likes of Duff, Robbie Keane, etc., you can see it very early on. I mean, he's not wrong there, Martin. You can see they're going to be top players.
They're street footballers, though, and let's not forget that Robbie, when he got a good move early, and then he went to Italy, and as soon as he went there, that was a making of him. Basically, he learned so much there. I mean, he was on the bench with R9 there, and incredible. Like he was never going to get them out of the picture ahead of him, but when he came back, just had learnt so much. Damien Duff learned an awful lot from playing Champions League football under Mourinho. Mourinho helped him so much. So,
and just to jump in, lads, I think it was nothing sort of easier to break in, but it was easier to adapt to men's football back then, just for the pure athletic aspect, because a lot more now it's about lads having to grow into their body and adapt physically because everyone's an athlete these days, and it sometimes takes some lads to get to maybe 23, 24 before you really start them develop physically properly. And back in the day, because like lads weren't in the gym all the time or weren't having the best nutrition or don't have the best sports science, so sometimes athletically you're not trying to come in and their technical ability could set them apart from an early age.
There you go. Dean Flood says it just isn't Lowell's season after the summer and a good preseason. He'll show his talent. Rolling Stone says Lowell is very injury prone. I don't see anything in him apart from his physicality.
He's not. I don't know if we could say he's injury prone. He's picked up one injury, which was a
bad one.
The back injury. What's it? Stress fracture in his back, which no one knew he even had until he done his medical. So I don't think he's injury prone. And there's a lot more to that lad than physicality. I can tell you that for free. Even Martin will agree with me in that one, even though he hates Rocco Vata.
Yeah, he hates young players. Yeah. Rolling Stone, does anyone here see us really beating Hungary at home or even get a draw away? Are we worried about Bulgaria? They are shit. I don't know.
From negatively to positively.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I think with Hungary, lads, I think we can all agree that it really just depends. We have to build momentum. If we get some momentum going, get a nice result do the business against Bulgaria in March, have a decent summer camp, have a couple of decent friendlies, you get a bit of momentum going into September. And you don't know then. You could win at home.
Dave, I don't like I know he says, can anyone see us? Like, obviously, we can see us beating them at home. We should expect to win. I don't want to say we have to win. Well, we kind of have to win that game, but like, there's no reason why we can't go into that game and be like, yeah, we're going to beat Hungary because we have the talent. They obviously have Sabazlai, who some days he turns up, some days he doesn't. Kirkez is a very good player, but he is a left back at the end of the day, and a left back can only do it can only take you so far. But no, Hungary are a decent side, but like their striker they have starts for Ludogorets. I say you could go as deep as I think you could say Ida, Ferguson, Parrott, Callum Robinson, Sinclair Armstrong, Tom Cannon would all start up front for Hungary. Because Hungary in certain positions have really good players, certain positions are quite weak, as I say with the striker. So no, there's no reason why we can't beat. And obviously, Bulgaria are shit. Like we can't not beat them. We should be beating them both legs. And obviously, the away game will be tougher. But we have to to build up momentum for winning away games. We have to just go and beat them away, and just get that tie over and done with.
And Hungary's first game up, and then Hungary at home. Hungary home is the first match. If we're on have a decent bit of momentum going into that, I can't see why not. And then of course the away game as well is Hungary away, so who knows? Max says, I like the Spurs move for Melia. They have a solid youth setup, and I wouldn't be shocked if he's part of the first team for the 26-27 season.
He's due to go. By the way, he's due to go straight into the first team. That's the plan they have from. Obviously, things can change depending on how he does this season, but he is due to go straight into the first team.
There you go. I did not know that. Dean Flood having a proper TV deal that shows this is League of Ireland, by the way. Having a proper TV deal that shows the games each week should be good for player value, just for an increase in league perception. Yeah, I agree with that. RT losing that to Virgin. I mean, that was. I don't think anyone was too sorry to see that, lads, were we?
No hope, but hopefully Virgin hurry up and get hit high definition on their whatever way it costs them. But like, we want to see football matches in high definition, not to him. Not.
Do you think that's a good idea in the League of Ireland?
No, but it's not up to League of Ireland. That's up to the broadcasting. Like, in fairness, RTE, as much as it annoys us, they don't show it often enough. And when they do cover it, to a very, very high standard, which is something that Virgin Media, just because of the rights now, they can't just let it slip away.
Look at this fella here, Martin. He wants to watch his games in HD. Do you remember the time
we were whinging?
Well, go on.
You were whinging on Friday about the quality of stuff, and like picture was part of that.
The graphics, I did like.
Yeah, that is part of it.
Graphics, they look shit. I like the ones that he had last season. But man, do you remember the day when you had BBC match? You had a match on BBC and FA Cup game. It was like manna from heaven, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just one game a week. We're lucky to get that, and we appreciated it. Jesus, now Connor with his streaming channels.
I strive better.
Is illegal. Max, with both Hyde and Barrett scoring a decent rate in Europe, do we see a potential for 2 up front in March, or do we think one will be favoured? Do we see them basically both playing, or just one?
I think if he plays 2 up front, one will be a number 10. It'll be Smodix, or it'll be like a Zaz or something, or more like as a number 10, not 2 strikers. I don't think.
I suppose it all depends what Ferguson does as well, doesn't he? At West Ham, if he hits the ground running, it's going to be Ferguson all day.
If Ferguson's fit, he'll start. That's what I like to say. Ferguson's fit, he starts, because we've seen it before and we'll see it again. As long as Ferguson's fit, he's seen as the main man in this Ireland squad.
Fair. Garage McGann. Dixon said he watched him in the warm-up. That's Trent, Kone-Doherty. Liam Hewitt, I think Premier Sports involvement is to do with cameras at games and the development of dedicated apps. They'll make it way more accessible now, which is excellent. Thank you for that, Liam. That's what we love about this podcast as well. The raw faithful. We don't know everything. We know a lot. Well, Connor does. Martin, you know some things, I suppose. But yeah, we don't know everything, and thank you for telling us. Ronnie Stone, can't see any of the players today for Liverpool staying at Liverpool. They were woeful today. That's the youth team, for fuck's sakes. Come on. Fucking youth team. Although, I tell you what, that Chiesa fella, did you see him today? He was very bollocks. Didn't they bite Klopp?
Fair lad. He's had a lot of his. No, he came in the summer for Liverpool. Do you remember him in the Euros, and when Italy beat England in the final, he was possibly the best player in the whole tournament, how good he was for Italy. Yeah. So he's done his ACL. He'd done his ACL after that, so which is also like he's never bought. The problem with Chiesa, I think, is he needs to be playing regularly to get back to 100% really as such, or in bed. But because of the talent Liverpool have on the wings, he's not going to get the minutes to do so. But the thing is, Luis Diaz is a very, very good player. He's one of the best left wingers in the Premier League, and he was playing today. So it wasn't the front three Liverpool had, like Jota starting as well. Like Jota's a very good player, so
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that about the Liverpool team.
No, it's just disjointed. Like it's very difficult to get cohesion when you have players that probably never played together before. But anyway, Lee Mewitz, feckin' hell, Rolling Stone. If you were a day of the week, you'd be a Monday.
Even more
Stephen,
positive tonight than he usually is.
To be fair, he's actually
he's on Wednesday. Yeah,
I think a couple of days, a couple of interesting topics he's thrown out there. Stephen O'Rourke, I think we will have a good, strong, young team to the World Cup. Too positive from Rolling Stone, says OD 420. Aaron Gubbins, well, lads, love the show. I thought Andy Amabamadeli was very short and solid. They are a decent team for Strasbourg. Good lad to hear. I didn't get to watch it, but thank you for that, Aaron. Do appreciate that. Dean Flood, hoping for 1 or 2 summer friendly so we can see some experiments in the squad. 100% badly needed, badly lacking with the last manager. I won't go on about that again. Rolling Stone, Eamon Duffy brackets, Heimer should ditch the experiment of playing Collins as a hybrid midfield defender. He is dead right. He's only done it once against England. That wasn't that bad. It was just...
It worked perfectly well for the first half.
Yeah. Baylor, get Rolling Stone on the pod. He's having more input than Prendy. And up the Didzy, the final boot in the bollocks to Martin there. Good man, Baylor.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone, Pepe's destroyed Foden over coaching. Graham Souness was miles ahead of any midfielder for Liverpool today.
Poor man's Brian Robson. Graham Souness.
How many league European Cups actually did Brian Robson win?
Doesn't matter.
Just look up Graham Souness highlights and all you'll see is him just going around kicking people.
Yeah.
Actually, Graham Souness was actually a very good player. He was brilliant. Wasn't he, Martin?
Yeah, he was a good player.
He was a very good player. He was basically Roy Keane on steroids in terms of he was more violent and angry, wasn't he? You could do it back then. Old dude 420. Paul McGrath was better than Van Dijk. Paul dominated the Premier League and World Cup games against some of the best attackers ever. Aldrich played for San Sebastian, Sociedad, not Bilbao. Sorry, brain fart there, but thank you for that. First player from non-player for non-Basque region player, I believe, for Real Sociedad. He did very well as well. Ronnie Stone McGrath had the great Roberto Baggio in his pocket, USA 94. Yeah, Connor. So have some of that. Jim Bear first.
Van Dijk done it to Haaland, done it to Ronaldo, done it to Mbappe. Don't know what you want me to do.
He did it to, yeah,
Mbappe's going down as a way better player than Baggio ever was.
I wouldn't say that. Jim Bear, I mean, did you see that penalty? Did you see that penalty miss? Panache, son. Right over. That's still in fucking.
Do you know why? Because Keller was, and that's the greatest Irish goalkeeper of all time in another 10 years.
He won't. Jim Bear, first Ireland national team I attended with my late dad was the 94 World Cup versus Italy at Giant Stadium, 15 minutes from out of New Jersey, USA home. McGrath was the best player on the pitch. Great memories. Good man, Jim. Thank you for sharing that. And by the way, anyone out there, if you've got any memories, any stories you want to share with us, send us an email, send us a direct message. You can go to pod@lansdowneroar.ie. That's pod@lansdowneroar.ie. And you want to share a story with us, we'll read it out here. And not a problem. That's what we're about as well. We're about the future, but we're also about sharing some memories. Lee Mewett, is John Joe still under 21s eligible? If he is, I'd have him there in March. Is he not? No.
No. He's overage.
No. So it's going to be seniors or bust. And last one, Joe 1 2 3 4 5 2. When's Zach Gillison back for Blackburn?
I wish I knew. I don't know. I've tried to find out. I don't know what he was injured. I knew he was getting a scan in like November to see what the situation was from there. And then I haven't heard anything since. So I'm guessing either he got injured in his recovery on the way back, which is never nice because that lad's been through a lot injury wise. And he's a very, very good technical footballer, if you remember. I think he's the only Irish player to ever play in the La Masia Academy. Is that true? I don't think he is, isn't he?
I will take.
He went from St. Kevin's to La Masia. No, it's never. But he's had a lot of trouble due injury, and I hope that I haven't heard in a while now because I've tried to find out and I haven't heard anything. But hopefully he's back soon because he's a very, very good footballer.
There we go. And that is the last comment tonight, guys. Thank you very much. Just under 1,900 of you watching us live on a Sunday night. Fantastic support as always. You can catch us. We'll be back next Monday, not Sunday, Monday, 9 o'clock. Connor, and Martin will be there. They can have their own little loving now together because they love each other so much. Oh, I love you, Connor. Love you, Martin. And
We do have a bit of ticket news, Dave.
Oh, go on.
Ticket news out. Just that the away portal is open at the moment for Bulgaria away. It's closing very, very soon as well. So do.
I thought he was going to break some news to us here, Dave.
No,
well, I mean,
I thought you were going to say
are we not for the fans? No, we don't have.
No. But like,
no, Martin, you don't go to the match usually, do you?
This is for the Irish fans who want to travel to the game and don't get media passes and pay to follow Ireland around the world. So not on the freebies. So yeah, if you
got fucking paid for it.
If you do want to travel, to Bulgaria, do apply to the away portal. Just to let everybody know.
There you go. Thank you for that, Martin. There you go, Baylor. He contributed something. Tickets.
Fucking cheeky fuckers.
As I said, the two lads will be back next Monday live to go over OBIG and, of course, any news whatsoever. We will have a League of Ireland program for you this week. We're going to record that. Of course, the League of Ireland season starts this or next weekend, and we're going to have a little preview for that. And we're going to have a League of Ireland weekly roundup podcast stream. Video podcast for you every week. That is now going to be part of the Lansdowne Roar package. But anyway, we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for coming on, Martin and Connor. Lovely to have you on as always. Thank you guys for watching at home. It's been fun and it's good to be back. But I'm going to bugger off again next week, unfortunately. But do tune in and support the lads. And of course, as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Head over to the Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitter. Give Connor a follow over at Rep Tracker. And also you can head over to Facebook where he's on Rep Tracker there as well. That's it, guys. Thank you very much. I'm David Dunn. He's Martin Prendergast. That's cheeky little fucker down the bottom there is Conor McAvoy. We're going to school with a podcast about modern football, I'm sure, in the foreseeable future. Anyway, this is Lansdowne Roar. We're live. We're out of here. Good night. God bless.